Chapter 180, Evergreen Elixir. Upon receiving news from Qin Fan, Jiang Qingning, Jiang Tianxiong, and several other dignitaries from Jiangcheng made their way over. Welcome! As they arrived at the villa, they were greeted by the stunning Catherine, whose presence left everyone momentarily speechless. Especially Jiang Qingning, who was utterly bewildered. She couldn't fathom when Qin Fan had brought in such a striking woman with silver hair and a voluptuous figure. "And you are?" Jiang Qingning asked, looking at Catherine. "My name is Catherine, the master's maid," Catherine responded with impeccable politeness. As expected of Master Qin, his taste is indeed impeccable. Chao Hu couldn't help but laugh heartily. Catherine's figure and appearance were nothing short of top tier, a true foreign beauty. Chao Hu couldn't help but admire Master Qin's knack for enjoyment. Jiang Qingning shot Chao Hu a glare and then asked, "A maid, a personal maid?" "Indeed," Catherine replied with a smile, "a personal maid who assists the master with various matters." Jiang Qingning's face darkened at this revelation. Had someone beaten her to the punch? "Catherine, don't waste time." "Let them in," came Qin Fan's displeased voice from inside. "Please, come in." Catherine quickly stepped aside and gestured for them to enter. Soon, Jiang Qingning and her party stepped into the villa, where Qin Fan was already seated in the living room. On the table before him were bottles crafted from jade. "Master Qin," Jiang Tianxiong greeted Qin Fan with great reverence, "ever since you returned from Huahai, we've been wanting to visit, but Master Qin has been preoccupied." Qin Fan nodded slightly. After returning from Huahai, he had declined all visits and immersed himself in cultivation. "Qin Fan, who is that Catherine?" Jiang Qingning asked nervously. "A servant, nothing more," Qin Fan replied calmly. Hearing the indifference in Qin Fan's tone, Jiang Qingning felt a sense of relief, realizing that Catherine was indeed just a servant. "I wonder, what pressing matter prompted Master Qin to summon us here today?" Ma Baodong, who had accompanied them, was the first to speak. As the owner of Jinyutang, Ma Baodong had provided Qin Fan with various jades and made a considerable profit, thanks in part to Xiang Shui's assistance. However, his status in Qin Fan's eyes was not particularly high, and he rarely had the opportunity to be summoned for discussions with prominent figures like the Jiang family and Ning Rushuan. This signified that he had finally entered Master Qin's inner circle, and his rise was imminent. "These jade bottles contain water. Drink it first," Qin Fan instructed, pointing to the jade bottles on the table instead of immediately answering. Upon hearing this, everyone was momentarily taken aback but proceeded to follow Qin Fan's instructions, opening the jade bottles and drinking the water. After drinking, a refreshing sensation traveled down their throats into their stomachs, transforming into a warm current that seemed to nourish their entire bodies, making them feel extremely comfortable. Not only that, but they also felt a noticeable boost in their spirits. This feels like immortal water," exclaimed Chao Hu. "This sensation, Master Qin, is like the water you gave me before." Jiang Tianxiong quickly added. "My goodness, I've had rheumatic arthritis for years, and in a damp and cold place like this mountain, my joints would usually ache. But after drinking this, it doesn't hurt at all," Ma Baodong said in astonishment. "I stayed up late dealing with matters in the hall yesterday and have been feeling fatigued. But after drinking this, I suddenly feel much more energized." "What is this?" Ning Rushuan asked, equally surprised. "This is the second product from Tianqin Company." Jiang Qingning was the first to react. "Indeed, it is the second product from Tianqin Company. I call it the Evergreen Elixir," Qin Fan nodded, praising Jiang Qingning. "Regular consumption can strengthen the body, prolong life, and ward off all illnesses." Using his unique methods, Qin Fan had infused the water with life energy released from a special branch, transforming it into the Evergreen Elixir. As he claimed, this elixir could indeed enhance physical strength, extend longevity, and prevent diseases. The crowd was instantly astounded. "This is divine water!" Chao Hu exclaimed, jumping up. "One could say so," Qin Fan nodded. "This evergreen elixir is even more valuable than the beauty elixir." Jiang Qingning couldn't help but remark. "Qin Fan, how much of this divine water can you produce?" "In terms of quantity, producing 100 bottles like this a day shouldn't be a problem," Qin Fan replied with a smile. In reality, if Qin Fan personally handled the production, thousands of bottles could be made daily. However, as he couldn't do this every day, he planned to set up an array to channel the life energy from the special branch into a pool, creating the evergreen elixir. This method would naturally be less efficient, but even in the worst case, 100 bottles a day was achievable. Each bottle must be worth at least a few thousand yuan, Xiaohu speculated, taking another sip from the jade bottle. You have no business acumen. A few thousand yuan might only buy a few drops, Jiang Qingning retorted disdainfully. Xiaohu was momentarily speechless. Conservatively speaking, each bottle of evergreen elixir should cost at least 100,000 yuan. No, 100,000 might only buy half a bottle. This would yield a monthly profit of at least 6 billion yuan, far surpassing the beauty elixir. Jiang Qingning continued. 100,000 for half a bottle? Really? Xiaohu was skeptical. 100,000 might not even be enough for people like us, who have plenty of money. The most precious thing is health, Jiang Qingning immediately replied. Indeed, unlike the beauty elixir, this is a luxury item. 100,000 for half a bottle might even be underpriced, Ning Rushuan agreed, nodding. This could bring me substantial wealth, Xin Fan remarked. Absolutely. I guarantee the monthly profit won't be less than 6 billion yuan, Jiang Qingning assured. Good. Since there will be ample funds, I need you to help me with something, Xin Fan stated. Master Qin, whatever you need, just command us, Zhang Tianxiong responded promptly. The others nodded in agreement, considering it an honor to assist Xin Fan. First, I want to buy the entire Feihong Mountain, Xin Fan announced. The crowd was immediately stunned, looking at Xin Fan with expressions of astonishment. What did he mean by buying the whole mountain? This is not difficult. Feihong Mountain is developed by our Jiang Group, we just need to transfer the ownership. However, we will need to repurchase the already sold properties at a high price, Jiang Qingning explained. If it's not difficult, let's move on to the next matter, Xin Fan said, taking out a jade pendant. This jade is extraordinary. Ma Budong, being an expert, instantly recognized the value of the jade pendant in Xin Fan's hand. Yes, it's jade essence. I need you to help me gather as much of it as possible. Money is not an issue, Xin Fan stated. Alright, I'll do my utmost, Ma Budong assured. Xin Fan, what exactly are you planning? Jiang Qingning asked, curious. I intend to set up a grand formation on Feihong Mountain, transforming it into a heavenly paradise. In your terms, it will become an immortal mountain, Xin Fan explained. Upon hearing this, everyone was even more astonished but also understood why Xin Fan introduced the evergreen elixir. Transforming Feihong Mountain into an immortal mountain would undoubtedly require an enormous amount of money. Xin Fan then proceeded to list the items he needed to purchase. The crowd was shocked as the estimated cost approached 100 billion yuan. However, with the evergreen elixir, money was no longer an issue. Moreover, as Xin Fan explained, once the mountain became an immortal sanctuary, the production of evergreen elixir would increase, leading to even higher revenues. Money would not be a problem at all. Chapter 181, Obtaining the Certificate. After concluding his discussions with Jiang Qingning and the others, Xin Fan saw them off. Once they had departed, he pondered how to retrieve the item he sought from Yang Li, Lin Qingyan's grandmother. Xin Fan suspected that the fragment of the chaos pearl he was looking for was likely in Yang Li's possession. However, he wasn't a villain and had no enmity with Yang Li, so coercing her was out of the question. Just as he was deep in thought, his phone rang. It was Lin Qingyan. After returning to Jiangcheng, Lin Qingyan had contacted him briefly to ask about his business in Huahai, but they hadn't met as she had been in Jini ancient town with Yang Li, trying to bring her back to Jiangcheng. Busy with company matters, they hadn't spoken much since then. Xin Fan, where are you? Lin Qingyan's voice came through the phone, sounding a bit fatigued. In Jiangcheng, Xin Fan replied. Aunt Wang said you haven't been back to Jinghu Garden for days. Where have you been staying? Lin Qingyan asked. Out, Xin Fan answered nonchalantly. Why are you staying out? I never told you to move out. It's a waste of money, Lin Qingyan said, sounding somewhat reproachful. Wait, does this mean you haven't been home either? Xin Fan countered. I'd been with Grandma for a few days, and now I'm preparing for the trip to Huan Island, so I've been busy at the company and haven't been back, Lin Qingyan explained, her voice revealing her exhaustion. Huan Island? Xin Fan mused, recalling that Lu Zian from Huan Island still owed him 30 billion yuan. It was high time to collect. Yes, the company's doing very well, especially Xiang Shui. A film company in Huan Island wants to offer her a role, and I think it's a good opportunity, so she needs to go there, Lin Qingyan elaborated. I'll go instead, Xin Fan decided without hesitation. Lin Qingyan paused, surprised but secretly pleased. She had hoped he would offer. The cooperation with Tianqin Company had significantly increased their business, leaving her overwhelmed. With her grandmother's situation and the company's surge in business, she couldn't afford to accompany Xiang Shui herself. "Why don't you come back first? I'll have Aunt Wang prepare a good meal tonight," Lin Qingyan suggested. "All right," Qin Fan agreed and hung up the phone. He had another reason to visit Huan Island besides collecting the debt. He needed to buy some materials for setting up an array. Certain items were hard to find in mainland China, but Huan Island, with its blend of international cultures and a belief in feng shui, would have a diverse array of rare materials. Additionally, Huan Island's auctions featured exotic items from around the world, often unavailable in China. After hanging up, Qin Fan headed to his car, a beat-up old vehicle that surprisingly started on its own before he even inserted the key. Realizing that the car had developed a form of spiritual awareness, he used his divine sense to scan it, confirming his suspicion. The car had become a low-level spiritual tool, a phenomenon he had never encountered before. This car's developing intelligence. Qin Fan marveled, driving it back to Jinghu Garden, feeling its improved performance and the protective aura it now emitted. Upon arriving at Lin Qingyan's villa, Aunt Wang warmly welcomed him, clearly relieved to see him back. She immediately began preparing a meal as Lin Qingyan returned home, looking exhausted. Qin Fan handed her a jade bottle containing the evergreen elixir he had created, which rejuvenated her instantly. "Where did you get this?" Lin Qingyan asked, surprised. "I made it, like the pills I refined before," Qin Fan replied. Lin Qingyan accepted this explanation, focusing on her dinner and the conversation that followed. During the meal, she finally gathered the courage to broach the real reason she wanted Qin Fan back: "Let's get married." Qin Fan was taken aback, almost choking on his food. Seeing his reaction, Lin Qingyan explained it was her grandmother's wish. Yang Li had agreed to move to Jiangcheng and receive treatment only if Lin Qingyan married Qin Fan. While Qin Fan agreed to this, he wanted to ensure Lin Qingyan had thought through the implications. The next morning, they went to the Civil Affairs Bureau and obtained their marriage certificate, much to Lin Qingyan's mixed feelings of surrealism and determination. On their way to the airport, she kept giving Qin Fan instructions for his trip to Huan Island, revealing her underlying concern for him. At the airport, they met Xiang Shui, who would accompany Qin Fan on the trip. After some brief conversation, Qin Fan and Xiang Shui boarded the plane. Upon landing at Huan Island, they were met by a professional-looking woman who immediately questioned Qin Fan's identity. Chapter 182, She Owes Me Money. "Who are you? Why are you here?" The woman's face turned cold as she saw Qin Fan accompanying them. "My name is Qin Fan. She couldn't come due to company matters, so she entrusted me to accompany Xiang Shui," Qin Fan explained as he spoke. Qin Fan scrutinized Liang Hongyu. She was attractive, about 30 years old, exuding the aura of a city elite and appeared to be a workaholic. "And you are?" Xiang Shui asked politely. "My name is Liang Hongyu, and I am an agent at Classic Media, which collaborates with Shili Company in Huandao City," Liang Hongyu introduced herself briefly. From her introduction, Qin Fan gathered that Classic Media acts as a bridge between Xiagua's media entertainment companies and those in Huandao City. Liang Hongyu, an agent and talent scout, primarily discovers future stars and helps them develop their careers in Huandao City. "Let's head to the hotel," Liang Hongyu said, her tone icy, seemingly upset that Lin Qingyan hadn't come. Soon, Qin Fan and Xiang Shui got into Liang Hongyu's car, a luxurious Cadillac with a dedicated driver. "Xiang Shui, take a look at this," Liang Hongyu handed a fashion magazine to Xiang Shui as soon as they got into the car. Xiang Shui took the magazine curiously and was immediately captivated by the beautiful woman on the cover. "She's stunning," she remarked. "Her English name is Sophia, and her Chinese name is Lu Zian. She's the daughter of the Lu Group," Liang Hongyu explained as she saw Xiang Shui's fascination. Qin Fan glanced at the magazine and said, "It really is her." "You know her?" Liang Hongyu asked casually. "She owes me money," Qin Fan replied nonchalantly. "Owes you money?" Liang Hongyu scoffed. "Do you know how wealthy Miss Lu is? She owes you money?" Qin Fan didn't bother to explain the 3 billion debt. Liang Hongyu, seeing his silence, continued, "The Lu Group's assets exceed 300 billion. Miss Lu, being the cherished daughter of Mr. Lu, is extremely favored. Recently, she accomplished a significant feat, further endearing her to Mr. Lu, making her the likely successor of the Lu Group. Miss Lu controls resources enough to buy 100 Shili companies.
Do you really think she would owe you money?
Liang Hongyu looked at Qin Fan skeptically, more with disdain than doubt, thinking he was overly arrogant.
Miss Liang, are we here for something related to the Lu Group? Xiang Shui asked.
No, you're here to audition for a film invested by the Huang Group, directed by the internationally renowned Chen Hansheng, and featuring numerous top stars. Securing a role in this major production will pave the way for your future in the industry, Liang Hongyu explained.
Ah. Xiang Shui was taken aback and instantly nervous. I thought I was just here to shoot an advertisement or something?
Xiang Shui, from the information I received from Lin Qingyan, I knew at first glance that you have the potential to become an international superstar. Don't waste this opportunity, Liang Hongyu urged earnestly.
But, I've never studied acting. Xiang Shui said nervously. Studied acting? Look at the screens now, how many actors have formal training? What counts is appearance and charisma.
You possess these qualities in abundance, so seize this opportunity, Liang Hongyu insisted. Xiang Shui felt overwhelmed, knowing she had never acted before.
At Shioli, she only did simple advertisements, though people always praised her natural talent. Don't doubt yourself. I've seen many of your advertisements. Your on-camera presence is exceptional.
With 7 days until the audition, I will train you intensively to unlock your full potential.
Trust me, I am a professional.
Liang Hongyu reassured her. Xiang Shui looked to Qin Fan for support.
Give it a try. I believe in you. Qin Fan encouraged.
All right, Xiang Shui felt a surge of courage from Qin Fan's words. Seeing Xiang Shui's reliance on Qin Fan irked Liang Hongyu, who prided herself as the expert. Xiang Shui then focused on the fashion magazine, while Qin Fan quietly extended his senses to observe everything outside the Huandao city, a cosmopolitan metropolis, teemed with people from all over the world. White, black, and brown-skinned Southeast Asians were everywhere.
As they said, Huandao City truly is a haven for practitioners.
Along the way, I've sensed many cultivators, but few martial artists, Qin Fan noted. Extending his senses, he noticed many adept practitioners, some even surpassing those he had encountered before. In Jiangnan, encountering cultivators was rare because cultivation required innate talent, similar to the spiritual roots and immortal cultivation, or unique constitutions and bloodlines. Finding a suitable person for cultivation was 1 in 100, even 1 in 1,000. Thus, cultivation on Earth was more akin to immortal cultivation, making it more challenging but also more potent than martial arts. For instance, if the young master of the Wu family became a grandmaster, the Southwest's magical families would be annihilated, which is why Yun Zhe spared no expense to eliminate him here. Qin Fan found many adept practitioners, some at the peak of their powers, and even sensed a few grandmasters akin to Foundation establishment cultivators, surprising him. This also hinted at the possibility of acquiring rare materials for his formations. Su Jing has been in the Southwest for some time now.
I wonder how her cultivation is progressing.
She should be at the second stage of qi refining by now, Qin Fan mused. Su Jing, with her exceptional talent in the Yuan technique, should have reached the second stage with the Yun family's full support. Soon, Qin Fan retracted his senses, awaiting their arrival at the hotel. As he did, several practitioners on the street turned their attention toward the moving car.
Master, what's wrong? A young boy, about 13 or 14, with rosy lips and white teeth, asked suddenly, is someone spying on me? An old man with white hair and beard, dressed in a Taoist robe, looked in confusion at the disappearing Cadillac. Spying on you?
The boy exclaimed, Master, you're a grandmaster.
Who would dare? Chapter 183, just in time.
Master, you are a grandmaster of the Taoist arts, ranked 45th on the heaven list. Even Mo Shindao wouldn't dare disrespect you, the boy said, looking up at his master with admiration.
Ha, the old Taoist laughed heartily, pride evident in his expression. That's right.
Master, it's outrageous that Mo Shindao didn't send someone to receive you for the South Asian Taoist conference, the boy continued, waving his fist in frustration. Xiaoyang, Mo Shindao has resided in Huandao for 60 years. He is the foremost figure in the city, capable of easily subduing a grandmaster of martial arts. Ranked 28th on the heaven list, he has some skill. His lack of respect is understandable, the old Taoist chuckled. Master, after this Taoist conference, your ranking will surely surpass Mo Shindao.
Xiaoyang said confidently. Ha, the old Taoist laughed even more proudly.
On the other side, Qin Fan had arrived at a 3-star hotel.
Is that Miss Lu?
Xiang Shui asked as she got out of the car and noticed the luxurious hotel across the street.
Across the street was Huandao City's most prestigious hotel, the Global Star Hotel.
On its large screen, a video of Lu Ziyan played, showcasing her achievements in leading the Lu Group to prosperity, clearly indicating she was the future leader of the Lu Group. Tonight, Miss Lu is hosting a banquet over there, attended by Huandao City's top elites, Liang Hongyu said, gazing at the screen with longing.
Qin Fan watched the video and thought, perfect, I'll ask for my money tonight.
Lu Ziyan owed him 3 billion, and she hadn't contacted him in a while, clearly intending to renege. Qin Fan decided he would have to collect in person.
I didn't expect you to accompany Xiang Shui, so I only booked one room. The hotel is full.
You'll need to find another nearby, Liang Hongyu said as they entered the hotel, adamant that Qin Fan and Xiang Shui shouldn't stay together to avoid any potential scandals. No problem, Qin Fan replied with a smile, which satisfied Liang Hongyu. Brother Qin, if you're not here, Xiang Shui said, worried about being in an unfamiliar place.
Don't worry, Xiang Shui. Keep the jade pendant I gave you close.
You'll be safe, Qin Fan reassured her, sending a wisp of his divine sense into her body to ensure her protection.
But Xiang Shui was still anxious. Xiang Shui, you must be confident and independent.
I'll be with you for the next 7 days to help you. There's no need for him to stay, Liang Hongyu instructed.
Rest assured, I'm not leaving Huandao City. You can reach me anytime, Qin Fan continued. Xiang Shui nodded, then followed Liang Hongyu to their room.
Qin Fan left the hotel and walked toward the luxurious hotel across the street. At the Global Star Hotel, owned by the Lu Group, a private party was in full swing, hosted by Lu Ziyan. She was mingling with Huandao City's elite to strengthen ties and secure her future leadership of the Lu Group. Dressed in a white gown adorned with jewels, her hair elegantly styled, Lu Ziyan exuded the aura of a queen. She accepted the guests' toasts with a gentle sip from her glass, her status in Huandao City evident.
To Miss Lu.
The elite guests toasted her, treating her like royalty.
Lu Ziyan, wearing white gloves, sipped her wine gracefully.
Her cold, regal demeanor made her the center of attention. Many admired her beauty and power, wishing to conquer this untouchable queen. Ziyan, are you pleased with the arrangements for tonight's party? A young man approached, smiling, dressed in a white tailcoat. He looked handsome and otherworldly, a perfect match for Lu Ziyan. The guest stepped back, showing respect for his esteemed position. This young man, Mo Yunson, was the cherished grandson and heir of Mo Shindao, Huandao City's foremost figure. Mo Yunson had inherited his grandfather's exceptional talent in the Taoist arts, surpassing him and earning a distinguished reputation in South Asia. At 28, he was already at the peak of his powers, attracting the admiration of the city's elite and countless admirers. Yunson, I felt uneasy these past few days, as if something is about to happen, Lu Ziyan confided, smiling at him. In her mind, she recalled the man who had effortlessly defeated the corpse demon and terrified Master Gu Qin Fan.
Chapter 184, Hoping the Building Doesn't Collapse.
During her journey to Huai West in Xia country to acquire medicine, Lu Ziyan had obtained Qin Fan's elixir, saying obtained would be generous, deceived would be more accurate. The effects of these elixirs were astonishing. Her father's health had improved drastically with regular consumption, recently reaching the vitality of a 60-year-old. Such elixirs were priceless, almost impossible to find in Huandao City, or even within Xia country. Lu Ziyan had secured these elixirs without any cost, which only increased her father's favor towards her, cementing her position as the future head of the Lu family.
However, instead of feeling elated, Lu Ziyan grew increasingly anxious.
As Gu Santong had warned her, the means by which Qin Fan had dispatched the corpse demon and the miraculous effects of the elixirs indicated Qin Fan's extraordinary nature. Gu Santong repeatedly advised Lu Ziyan to cultivate a good relationship with Qin Fan, regardless of the 3 billion debt. Spending 3 billion to gain Qin Fan's favor could yield even greater benefits.
But Lu Ziyan couldn't afford to be honest about the situation.
It was 3 billion in cash, which would require selling nearly 4 billion in assets to gather. Even as the future head of the Lu family, mobilizing such resources, even for her father's treatment, would invite severe criticism. The Lu family only held 40% of the Lu Group's shares, with numerous other shareholders and many discontented direct descendants within the family.
They were not easy to deal with.
If she sold 4 billion in assets to gather 3 billion, she might not survive till the next day, likely to be devoured by these wolves.
Do you have something on your mind? Mo Yunson asked gently, smiling.
You can tell me, I can solve any trouble for you. Lu Ziyan felt a slight warmth at Mo Yunsong's caring smile. Mo Yunsong had enough status, ability, and was a considerate and warm man, making him an ideal match for her. Maybe I should give him a chance, Lu Ziyan thought as she looked at Mo Yunsong. At that moment, a middle-aged man in a green robe approached. Mr. Gu, Mo Yunsong greeted the man politely with a faint smile. The newcomer was Gu Santong, one of Lu Ziyan's supports. Though not as powerful as Mo Yunsong, Gu Santong was formidable within Huandao City, where fewer than 10 cultivators could surpass him. As an elder of the Hidden Sword sect, he deserved respect, and courtesy was necessary, especially as he was aligned with Lu Ziyan. Seeing Gu Santong, Lu Ziyan brightened and asked, Master Gu, what have you found out about Qin Fan? Miss Lu, Qin Fan is no ordinary person, Gu Santong began. Master Gu, anyone can tell he's extraordinary given his methods and those elixirs. I need detailed information about him, his background. Lu Ziyan demanded impatiently, almost agitated. Miss Lu, I meant that if the information I received from Huahai is accurate, then Qin Fan is extremely dangerous, Gu Santong explained hurriedly. What's going on? Who is this Qin Fan? Mo Yunsong, intrigued, asked. Yunsong, this is a family matter. Please excuse us, Lu Ziyan said, realizing she had spoken too hastily. Ziyan, you seem truly troubled. I told you I could handle any problem for you. Don't you trust me? Mo Yunsong asked warmly, his sunny smile unwavering. Lu Ziyan hesitated, considering Mo Yunsong's status. If his grandfather intervened, the problem might indeed be solved. Ziyan, have you forgotten what I do in my grandfather's influence? No matter the issue, I guarantee no one in Huandao City or Xia country would refuse my grandfather's request, Mo Yunsong assured confidently. Mo Shindao, as Huandao City's premier figure, could resolve any issue within the city, and given his and the city's status, others in Xia country would also comply, ensuring the matter would be handled. Lu Ziyan felt reassured by his words, needing Mo Shindao's intervention. However, Gu Santong, listening to Mo Yunsong, shook his head. Initially, he had the same thought, with Mo Shindao in Huandao City, what chaos could Qin Fan cause? But the more he recalled Qin Fan's displayed power, the more he feared it. Was that really the strength of a grandmaster? Unlikely. Qin Fan might be a Taoist real person. Just a few days ago, news arrived from Xia country. Hua Tianqing had entered Xia country and was easily crushed by a Qin master, who also destroyed the Wang family and crippled the Hidden Spirit sect elder. When this news reached him, his heart sank. Gu Santong knew Hua Tianqing well, their sects had cooperated before. Hua Tianqing's power was terrifying, certainly capable of ranking in the top 40 of the heaven list, but eyewitnesses claimed he was effortlessly killed by Master Qin, who then crippled Jiang Yuanzhang, an elder of the Hidden Spirit sect. Master Qin's power far exceeded expectations, possibly beyond a master. He might be a Taoist real person. Mo Shindao aimed to reach this supreme Taoist realm, setting up a grand array on Changyu Island. Could Mo Shindao really withstand Master Qin? Of course, Gu Santong hoped Master Qin wasn't Qin Fan, but all his information pointed to it being the same person. Ziyan, don't worry too much. Your worried look might spark rumors among the guests. As the future head of the Lu family, you must remain calm and composed, Mo Yunsong advised. Lu Ziyan nodded, smiling. You're right, I should enjoy tonight. Boom, 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 fireworks exploded outside, illuminating the night sky in the club. What's this? Lu Ziyan asked, surprised, seeing the fireworks through the window. This is my special surprise for you. Do you like it? Mo Yunsong smiled. Yes, Lu Ziyan replied, her beauty glowing in the fireworks light. I love it. Gu Santong, watching the fireworks, sighed inwardly. I hope this building doesn't collapse. Chapter 185, here to collect the debt. At the Global Star Hotel, Qin Fan entered through the main door, his spiritual sense instantly enveloping the luxurious establishment, immediately pinpointing Lu Ziyan's location. In his vision, Lu Ziyan appeared like a radiant pearl, effortlessly mingling among the elites and dignitaries of Huandao City, commanding the scene with her noble and formidable presence, akin to a queen, becoming the center of attention. The powerful and elite individuals exhausted all means to win the favor of this queen. This reminds me of the female cultivators of the Hahuan sect, thought Qin Fan, observing Lu Ziyan's every move, recalling the sect where female cultivators would navigate the powerful male cultivators, enhancing their cultivation through dual cultivation, sometimes even draining their male counterparts completely. Qin Fan wasn't sure if Lu Ziyan maintained her purity, But her demeanor among men bore little difference to the Hahuan sex practitioners in his eyes. Following his spiritual sense, Qin Fan strolled through the hotel, unnoticed by the surrounding staff and guests, who seemed oblivious to his presence.
As a mid-stage nascent soul cultivator, it was effortless for Qin Fan to conceal his presence from ordinary people.
He didn't intend to spend much time on Lu Ziyan and wished to resolve this matter quickly, although it depended on her attitude. Soon, Qin Fan entered a room, taking a glass of red wine from a white waiter's tray, and approached Lu Ziyan, who was watching the brilliant fireworks through the floor-to-ceiling window. Lu Ziyan, her eyes sparkling with the reflection of fireworks, didn't notice Qin Fan's approach until his voice softly uttered, "Lu Ziyan," causing her to stiffen. Standing nearby, Gu Santong also froze, his eyes wide with terror as he gazed at Qin Fan, who held a wineglass beside Lu Ziyan.
The name Lu Ziyan echoed not only in her ears but also clearly across the entire banquet hall. Who dares address Miss Lu by her full name? Who is bold enough to utter such insolence?
The faces of the guests changed upon hearing the name.
Close acquaintances might call her Sophia or Ziyan, but strangers addressed her formally as Miss Lu.
No one dared to call her by her full name. Turning to face him, Lu Ziyan's pupils constricted at the sight of Qin Fan. Her emotions were a tumultuous mix of fear, astonishment, and confusion, rendering her momentarily speechless. However, as the queen of Huandao City's elite, she quickly regained her composure, demanding, "Who are you? How did you get in here? Where are the security guards?"
Others, hearing Lu Ziyan's question, regained their senses. Indeed, who is he? Never seen him before. How did he get in? Where are the security guards? Throw him out immediately.
The guests, all prominent figures of Huandao City, echoed in agreement, assuming Qin Fan had sneaked in and needed to be expelled.
"Sophia, could this be one of your fervent admirers?"
"He's quite handsome," commented Mu Zhishan, one of Lu Ziyan's friends, eyeing Qin Fan with a playful expression. Mu Zhishan, the daughter of a gambling tycoon from Jingmen City, was worth billions. Before Lu Ziyan could refute, Qin Fan looked at her with interest. "So, you intend to renege on your debt?"
"What nonsense! Someone, throw him out." Lu Ziyan's voice rose in agitation. "Didn't you hear? Ziyan doesn't know you. Leave now."
Mo Yunxong, standing nearby, stepped in front of Lu Ziyan protectively.
A simple denial to evade a debt of 30 billion?
Qin Fan downed his wine with a smile, inquiring.
30 billion?
The guests, all of whom were wealthy, were stunned by the mentioned debt.
Nonsense.
Following the shock, a stern voice rang out. A serious-looking man in a suit approached, saying, "Sir, Huandao City is a place of law.
Everything requires evidence. If you cannot provide proof, you are falsely accusing Miss Lu of a 30 billion debt.
I can charge you with extortion, and you will spend the rest of your life in prison for such a sum."
Well said. Who is this guy, claiming 30 billion? Indeed, Attorney Song is right. This is extortion. Exactly. Attorney Song can turn black into white.
Last time, young Master Huang was accused of assault and murder, but Attorney Song's defense turned it into a plot for money, and the woman ended up in prison.
Ha, his accent sounds like a mainlander. Right, a mainlander can't stand against Attorney Song. The crowd laughed, treating the situation as a joke.
"Lu Ziyan, it seems you did not heed my warning," Qin Fan remarked, his gaze icy, making Lu Ziyan feel as if she had fallen into an abyss of cold, retreating instinctively.
"Did you not hear me? Provide evidence, or I will send you to court." Attorney Song's face turned cold as he spoke.
"Stay out of matters that don't concern you," Qin Fan said indifferently.
Slap. As Qin Fan's words fell, a slap resounded.
Attorney Song felt a heavy blow to his face, his body flying into the wall, embedding within, his fate uncertain. The room fell silent, everyone staring at Qin Fan in shock. No one expected Qin Fan to act so ruthlessly. Attorney Song was the top lawyer in Huandao City, and people were cautious around him, fearing legal retribution, but now, a mainlander had struck him directly.
This must be madness. Chapter 186, Killing with One Finger. Lu Ziyan, you have only two choices, repay the debt or forfeit your life.
I have no patience to waste with you. Qin Fan, his eyes cold, declared after sending Attorney Song flying with a slap.
Mr. Qin. I. Lu Ziyan stammered in terror, instinctively retreating.
She had initially planned to negotiate some contract, invoke the law, and pay off Qin Fan with a few billion.
Now she understood, contracts and laws meant nothing to him. He embodied the phrase, unrestrained by anything. I don't care what relationship you have with Xian, but tonight, after injuring someone and threatening her, I won't let you off. Mo Yunsong's voice was icy as he stepped in front of Lu Xian, shielding her. Seeing herself protected by Mo Yunsong, Lu Xian's tense nerves relaxed. Of course, with Mo Yunsong here and the powerful emotion Dao behind him, there was nothing to fear. Help me, Yunsong, she said, steadying her voice. Don't worry. Mo Yunsong replied, glaring at Qin Fan. Kid, I don't know your background, but Huandao City isn't a place where you can act out just because you know some martial arts. Even if you're a martial arts grandmaster, you have to bow your head here. He's just a martial arts grandmaster, what's there to be arrogant about? Our families all have martial arts grandmasters. Exactly, does this mainlander think he can dominate Huandao City, an international metropolis, with some martial arts? Ridiculous. Martial artists are all brainless. Don't they know it's the age of technology? No matter how strong a martial artist is, they can't withstand guns or artillery, let alone a mere martial artist. The elite guests of Huandao City sneered at Qin Fan. They were all affluent, capable of hiring martial arts masters. Huandao City, a westernized metropolis, believed in firepower more than martial prowess. No martial artist could withstand artillery bombardment. These taunts brightened Lu Xian's expression. With Mo Shindao and the armed police, what was there to fear? Only Gu Santong paled, sweat pouring down his face. Qin Fan wasn't just a martial arts grandmaster, he was a dual cultivator of martial and Taoist arts, possibly even a Taoist master. Short of deploying a powerful army with high-tech weaponry, small arms were useless against him. This banquet is for Xian, and I don't want bloodshed. If you apologize to Xian and compensate Attorney Song, I'll let you go. Otherwise, you won't leave here alive. Mo Yunsong declared arrogantly. Qin Fan stared at Mo Yunsong. Who are you? Mo Yunsong, momentarily taken aback, chuckled. I'm Mo Yunsong, the grandson and heir of Mo Shindao, a grandmaster of Taoist arts. Apologize now if you know what's good for you. Never heard of you, Qin Fan replied coldly. As he spoke, his figure vanished. A scream followed, and everyone saw Qin Fan reappear, gripping Lu Xian by her white neck, lifting her effortlessly. I told you, I have no time to waste. Since you won't pay, I'll take you to your family to settle it. Qin Fan declared, holding Lu Xian like a rag doll. Stop. Release Miss Lu. Security. Where are the security guards? Someone, get this lunatic out of here. Pandemonium erupted. Guests screamed as security rushed in with batons. Silence. Qin Fan waved his left hand, and purple lightning flashed, crackling through the air like serpents. It struck the security guards and elites, sending them flying, stunning them, shattering nearby glass. He's using lightning magic. He's a Taoist grandmaster. No way. The remaining guests, understanding the significance of lightning magic, were in disbelief. They knew Taoist arts were prevalent in Huandao City. Keep quiet, or I'll kill you all. Qin Fan's voice was icy. He was here to collect a debt from Lu Xian, not to kill indiscriminately. However, he wouldn't hesitate if pushed. At his words, the crowd fell silent, terrified. Lightning magic, huh? It's unfortunate you met me. Your Taoist skills are nothing before me. Mo Yunsong's voice cut through the tension as blue energy emanated from him, lowering the room's temperature. The guests, sensing the change, perked up. Mo Yunsong was about to act. A pinnacle grandmaster of Taoist arts, he was renowned for his mastery. Within moments, Mo Yunsong formed two icy blue talismans in the air. Go, he commanded, sending the talismans hurtling toward Qin Fan. 3 ice shards, each a meter long, shot out, aiming for Qin Fan with deadly precision. This was Mo Shindao's famed technique, the Ice Finger Mystic Seal, capable of killing a martial arts grandmaster with one strike. The guests believed Qin Fan was doomed. You brought this upon yourself. I'll send you off. Qin Fan said coldly, pointing into the air. A purple lightning sword materialized with a flash, the sword shattered the ice shards. Ah! Mo Yunsong screamed as the purple lightning pierced his chest, his body turning to a charred corpse. Chapter 187, perhaps, invincible. Everyone stared, dumbfounded, at the charred remains of Mo Yunsong.
It was inconceivable that Mo Yunsong had been killed by a mere mainlander.
Mo Yunsong, the esteemed grandson of Mo Shindao and his designated heir, commanded great respect in Huandao City.
Even offending him was unheard of, let alone challenging him.
Yet now, this mainlander had slain Mo Yunsong.
This signaled an impending clash to the death with Mo Shindao. There was no way this man would leave Huandao City alive.
Qin Fan turned to Gu Santong and said coolly, "Tell the Lu family, it's no longer 3 billion, but everything they have." With that, Qin Fan seized Lu Ziyan and departed, unchallenged along the way.
Alone, he had come to kill Mo Yunsong and capture Lu Ziyan, declaring to the elite of Huandao what it means to be formidable. "I warned Miss Lu not to be stingy with those 3 billion. Now, disaster looms over the Lu family. Gu Santong sighed deeply, heading towards the Lu family estate to meet Elder Lu. The other aristocrats exchanged glances and quickly dispersed, eager to inform their families of the brewing catastrophe in Huandao City. Hiding in a corner, Mu Zhishan watched Qin Fan leave, her face flushed with excitement.
This man is too charismatic, too handsome. This is a real man. I've fallen for him, I must know who he is, make him mine. After they left, news of Mo Yunsong's death and Lu Ziyan's capture spread rapidly through Huandao's high society and reached the Lu family. As one of Huandao City's most powerful clans, the Lu family's influence permeated every sector, legal and illegal. Tonight, in the Lu family hotel, the murder of Mo Shindao's grandson and the capture of their future leader was a stinging slap to their face. Despite the late hour, all of the Lu family's direct descendants gathered in Lu Fachuan's luxurious villa. "I warned her, obtaining that mysterious elixir without repercussions was a folly." "Now, calamity has struck," remarked Lu Xingyi, Lu Fachuan's eldest son.
60-year-old Lu Xingyi had been the prime candidate to inherit the Lu family leadership until Lu Ziyan emerged, seizing his place. Now, Lu Ziyan's capture seemed a just retribution. Indeed, how could she hide such matters? 3 billion is no trifling sum, and now we face disaster, Lu Shengjing, Lu Fachuan's second son, criticized. The entire Lu family denounced Lu Ziyan's actions. Enough! Lu Fachuan's thunderous command silenced them. "At a time like this, you bicker about Ziyan?" "But father, she caused this."
Lu Xingyi protested.
"It matters not who caused it. Anyone who dares to harm my daughter in Huandao will not escape my wrath."
Lu Fachuan's face was icy. "Father, I've already contacted the Huandao police.
Chief Li has deployed the Flying Leopard Squad to search for Ziyan," Lu Shengyan, the fifth son, reported. The Flying Leopard Squad, an elite police unit of 1,500 men, handled the most difficult cases.
Naturally, Lu Ziyan's case warranted their involvement. Hearing this, Lu Fachuan's expression softened slightly.
He then turned to Gu Santong, asking, "Mr. Gu, explain the situation, especially the identity of that man."
Gu Santong sighed deeply. "I advised Miss Lu to consult with you upon her return.
Although 3 billion is a large sum, it could have forged a valuable connection.
But she refused to heed my warning, leading to this disaster." "Mr.
Gu, you must be joking.
3 billion in cash is enough to establish an army. How could anyone offer such benefits in return?"
Lu Xingyi scoffed, echoed by others. The Lu Group, with assets exceeding 300 billion, controlled 50% of these assets. Together 3 billion in cash would deplete nearly a third of their resources, an untenable strain.
"Mr. Gu, let's focus on who he is, his background, and how he dared to kill Mo Yunsong and abduct Ziyan," Lu Fachuan pressed.
"His name is Qin Fan," Gu Santong replied.
"Qin Fan? If he's from the Qin family, I can call Qin Wudao.
We have some rapport, and this can be resolved," Lu Fachuan suggested.
"Elder Lu, if Qin Fan were from the Qin family, it would be easier."
"But he's from Jiangnan, with no ties to the Qin family,"
Gu Santong clarified.
"Not from the Qin family, yet he dares such actions?"
"He must be courting death," Lu Fachuan said incredulously.
"A madman or a lunatic, indeed," others chimed in. "You may not know his origins, but in Jiangnan, he is revered as Master Qin."
Gu Santong nodded solemnly, realizing they did not grasp Qin Fan's terrifying reputation. "Master Qin of Jiangnan."
A startled voice came from behind Lu Fachuan. "Do you know him, Mr.
Lu?" Lu Fachuan inquired.
Lu Pingzhou, a peak martial arts grandmaster, stood guard over the Lu family with Gu Santong, one excelling in martial arts, the other in Taoism.
"Not personally, but his name is recently renowned."
"I thought it was a namesake, but it's him, Lu Pingzhou confirmed.
Is he formidable? Lu Fachuan asked.
Both the martial and Taoist communities recognize the heaven, earth, and human rankings in Xianmen. Qin Fan is on the heaven list, Lu Pingzhou explained.
The heaven list? The Lu family was baffled.
Let me put it this way, the heaven list updates every 20 years.
The last update was 10 years ago. It rarely updates prematurely unless an extraordinary grandmaster emerges, forcing an update.
This Qin Fan compelled the list to update 10 years early.
It's not about being formidable, he might be. Lu Pingzhou paused, then took a deep breath. He might be invincible. Chapter 188, Ascended to Godhood. Unrivaled in the world.
Upon these 4 words, the members of the Lu family all displayed expressions of astonishment. Mr.
Lu, your words. Even Gu Santong was startled by this statement. Mr. Gu, perhaps you haven't paid much attention to the celestial ranking.
After all, it is updated so infrequently, and each update brings only minor changes. However, throughout history, those who have compelled the celestial ranking to update ahead of schedule are all extraordinary talents. The last person who forced an early update was named Ji Shao, and he became the top of the celestial ranking in that era. The time before that was Chu Yun, who also reached the top of the celestial ranking in his era. And before that, Chen Yang, likewise, was the top of the celestial ranking in his era. Every grandmaster who has compelled the celestial ranking to update ahead of schedule will, without exception, eventually become invincible in the world and ascend to the top of the celestial ranking. Lu Pingzhou spoke with utmost solemnity. Then, where did those who reached the top of the celestial ranking eventually go? Upon hearing this, Lu Fachuan realized that things were not as simple as they seemed. They have ascended to godhood. Lu Pingzhou exclaimed, shocking the Lu family members. Ascended to godhood? The people of the Lu family exclaimed. Not as you might imagine gods, but a realm beyond grandmasters, capable of moving mountains and seas with a mere gesture, known as terrestrial immortals. The pursuit of greatness by the likes of land immortals and great masters is to step into this divine realm, Gu Santong explained. With these words, all members of the Lu family fell into silence. Wait, Mr. Lu, what you said refers to later events. The person you mentioned, Qin Fan, has just climbed the celestial ranking, so he's hardly invincible in the world. Lu Xingyi interjected. Yes, what my elder brother said is true. Even if one becomes unrivaled in the world, it pertains to the future, not the present. Indeed, those who boast of being unrivaled in the world at every opportunity are akin to fools. One might claim to be unrivaled in the world against 100 foes, 1,000 foes, or 10,000 foes, but such claims of unrivaled status are highly questionable. Furthermore, claiming to be unrivaled in the world doesn't guarantee there are no adversaries above. Those strategic geniuses aren't to be underestimated, and the claim of being unrivaled in the world holds much water. The members of the Lu family spoke out one after another, feeling that Lu Pingzhou's assessment was exaggerated, with some even resorting to jests. Lu Pingzhou shook his head slightly. These people didn't grasp the value of the celestial ranking, so he refrained from further elaboration. Mr. Gu, in your opinion, just how formidable is this Qin Fan? Lu Fachuan inquired. At this point, Lu Fachuan, the helm of the Lu family, realized that things were indeed troublesome, so he needed to thoroughly understand Qin Fan. Hua Tianqing died at his hands, the royal family of Hua Hai perished at his hands, and he disabled the elders of Shenlinggate. Gu Santong hesitated for a moment before revealing the latest information he had obtained to the members of the Lu family. Upon hearing Gu Santong's words, many members of the Lu family were perplexed. They were truly unfamiliar with matters of martial arts. Are you saying Hua Tianqing is dead? Upon hearing of Hua Tianqing's death, Lu Fachuan's expression changed suddenly. Mr. Gu, is this information reliable? It is, Gu Santong affirmed. In that case, this situation is indeed quite troublesome. Lu Fachuan's expression became extremely grim. Dad, just who is this Hua Tianqing? Do you know him? Yeah, Grandpa, do you know this Hua Tianqing? Many people spoke up, inquiring about Hua Tianqing's background. Hua Tianqing is a Xia person from overseas, the head of an almost A-level organization overseas. He is extremely powerful. Even I must respectfully address him as Mr. Hua whenever I meet him. Lu Fachuan said with an extremely grim expression. Upon hearing this, the faces of the Lu family members all changed. they understood that this situation was indeed troublesome. Their father, Lu Fashuan, was a prominent figure in Huandao City, both in Xia country and in Huandao. Those whom he respectfully addressed as Mr. were among the upper echelons of the 5 major families within Xia country. As for within Huandao City, they were on equal footing with the most prominent dignitaries, such as the chief executive of Huandao City and the head of the Huang family, Huang Guantong. In Huandao City, Hua Tianqing was essentially equivalent to the chief executive of Huandao or the head of the Lu family. Very few people dared to provoke him. And now, Qin Fan had killed Hua Tianqing. In Huandao City, there were indeed very few who could provoke him.
I never expected this. Truly, I never expected this.
Hua Tianqing actually died at the hands of this Qin Fan.
Lu Fashuan suddenly sighed deeply.
Once, our Lu family received some favors from him overseas.
Now, the one who killed him has become our archenemy.
At this moment, the members of the Lu family dared not speak further now. They have come to realize the sheer might of this Qin Fan, a mountainous force pressing down upon the Lu family, rendering them unable to lift their heads. Qin Fan is truly beyond the reach of our Lu family.
What should we do? Should we hand over the 300 billion?
Yes, Dad, what should we do?
Grandpa, what are we going to do?
After a moment, the members of the Lu family were in a panic, seeking guidance.
Mr.
Gu, he must have conveyed a message through you. Speak. Lu Fashuan turned to Gu Santong and asked.
Taking a deep breath, Lu Fashuan solemnly declared, he demands everything. Everything? He wants everything from the Lu family? How is that possible?
This is no different from annihilating our Lu family. The direct descendants of the Lu family immediately cried out in frantic dismay upon hearing this news.
Why panic?
Lu Fashuan rebuked sternly. Indeed, Qin Fan is formidable, but the Lu family is not to be trifled with. If all he wants is for me to consume his elixirs to prolong my life, so be it. Even if he desires my life, he will have to tread over my corpse to annihilate the Lu family. All eyes turned to Lu Fashuan, revealing a sense of awe. Even Gu Santong displayed admiration. Truly, starting from scratch to establish a vast family legacy in Huandao City, Lu Fashuan's determination was unmatched, truly a formidable figure. With Lu Fashuan's words, the Lu family stabilized. Eldest, second, third, fourth, and all of you, those who need to act, act now. Those who need to make contacts, make them. For so many years, the Lu family has accumulated strength in Huandao.
It's time to utilize all of it. Lu Fashuan commanded.
The members of the Lu family nodded in agreement. Now was the time to mobilize all of the Lu family's available resources. Prepare the ship.
Tonight, I will go to Chanyu Island to meet with Master Mo.
At this moment, Lu Fashuan stood up, turning to Gu Santong. Mr.
Lu, are you sure about this? Gu Santong was moved. Would Master Mo sit idly by while his grandson is killed? Lu Fashuan smiled. The folly of Qin Fan lies in his decision to harm Master Mo.
Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to persuade him to come out of seclusion.
Chapter 189, This is unrivaled in the world. As the top family in Huandao City, the true power of the Lu family couldn't be measured by mere money. After a brief family meeting, the forces of various factions in Huandao City were swiftly mobilized under the influence of the Lu family.
Both the underworld organizations and the police force were mobilized, and some within the Lu family even issued high bounties to overseas organizations. Meanwhile, the head of the Lu family, Lu Fashuan, had already set sail with Master Gu towards Chanyu Island, intending to request the assistance of Mo Shindao, who had been in seclusion on the island for nearly 30 years. This was the might of the top aristocracy in Huandao City. Once they moved, it was akin to a thunderous roar. Despite the suppression by the authorities to prevent unrest among the populace, the news of the Lu family's significant actions quickly spread among the upper-class families in Huandao City. These families were both curious and anxious. Who was the audacious individual who dared to kill Mo Shindao's grandson, abduct the daughter of the Lu family? And they eagerly anticipated whether Mo Shindao, who had remained secluded for nearly 30 years, would intervene.
If Mo Shindao made a move, it would undoubtedly lead to a major conflict.
As for all this commotion, Qin Fan couldn't care less. At this moment, no one could imagine that Qin Fan had brought Lu Ziyuan to her villa halfway up the mountain in Huandao City. Qin Fan was sitting cross-legged on the sofa in the villa's hall, while Lu Ziyuan walked around casually. Watching Qin Fan sitting there with closed eyes, Lu Ziyuan asked anxiously, "You brought me home and then ignored me.
Aren't you afraid I'll run away?"
"You can try," Qin Fan responded calmly with closed eyes.
Upon hearing this, Lu Ziyuan bit her lip and then quickly ran towards the door.
However, before she could open the door, she immediately felt intense pain coursing through her entire body, causing her to roll on the ground in agony, emitting continuous screams.
This process lasted for more than 10 seconds before it stopped.
By now, Lu Ziyuan's face was pale, cold sweat drenched her body, and she crawled back to Qin Fan's side like a dog, her eyes filled with fear.
At this moment, she fully understood that she was nothing more than an ant easily crushed by Qin Fan run away. It was impossible. Mr. Qin. Qin, I was wrong, I was really wrong. Please spare me. I will definitely give you the 300 billion.
I promise, within 5 days, no, 3 days, if you spare me, I guarantee to give it to you within 3 days.
Lu Ziyuan begged while prostrated on the ground in front of Qin Fan. At this moment, Lu Ziyuan was drenched in sweat, her delicate body almost translucent, exuding infinite allure. With Lu Ziyuan's outstanding appearance and graceful figure, in this posture, any man would find it difficult to resist. Unfortunately, Qin Fan didn't even spare her a glance.
He still closed his eyes and said indifferently, "Do you remember what I said to you at the Yin corpse pool?"
What did you say? Please, Mr. Qin, say it again. I won't forget this time, Lu Ziyuan said tremblingly as she lay on the ground. If I personally come to seize it, then it's all. Everything. Qin Fan said coldly upon hearing this. Lu Ziyuan's body stiffened instantly, her breath stopped. Now she remembered.
Qin Fan had said that if he personally came, then it would be everything.
But at the thought of this, Lu Ziyuan shook her head repeatedly and said, everything? Impossible. The Lu family will never give you everything. That's over 1,500 billion yuan.
Even if they use me as leverage, it's impossible. If you don't give it to me, I will annihilate the entire Lu family, Qin Fan said indifferently. With the most plain tone, Qin Fan uttered the most ferocious words, leaving Lu Ziyuan speechless with fear.
The atmosphere was heavy with silence.
Lu Ziyuan occasionally glanced at Qin Fan, who remained silent, then couldn't bear it any longer and burst out, "Who do you think you are, Qin?
Saying you'll annihilate us all, just like that? This is a society governed by law. Do you think you're invincible? I've been kidnapped here, and someone will definitely come to rescue me."
"The person you mentioned has already arrived," Qin Fan replied, slowly opening his eyes at the same time. The windows of the hall were quietly opened, and 5 fully armed members of the Flying Leopard team swiftly entered with thunderous speed.
Several red dots landed on Qin Fan. "Get lost,"
Qin Fan said coldly. In an instant, a strong wind swept through, and the members of the Flying Leopard team were immediately lifted into the air and thrown out of the villa, crashing to the ground outside.
Lu Ziyuan was dumbfounded.
Outside the villa, hundreds of members of the Flying Leopard team looked on in shock at those thrown out. "Snipers, take your positions," the leader of the Flying Leopard team ordered decisively.
"Those who don't want to die, get out."
However, as soon as the captain of the Flying Leopard team spoke, a mighty force surged from within the villa. Accompanied by this force, a powerful shockwave poured forth, instantly blowing all the Flying Leopard team members flying and tumbling down the mountainside. The members of the Flying Leopard team were completely stunned at the foot of the mountain, realizing they had encountered an extremely formidable opponent, and frontal assault was futile. The Flying Leopard team mobilized again, this time employing the most advanced weaponry, from helicopters to armored vehicles, nearly surrounding the villa on the mountainside. However, all these modern weapons proved useless. No matter how many waves of attacks they launched, with just a command from the other party, all assaults completely disintegrated. Some helicopters even exploded in mid-air, and all crew members perished. After 2 days of continuous attacks and heavy losses, the Flying Leopard team and the Huandao authorities finally understood that dealing with Qin Fan required the use of heavy military weaponry. However, to utilize such heavy weaponry, they had to contact the military department of Xiao country, but using heavy weaponry in an international metropolis like Huandao would stir up a huge storm internationally. Huandao City had quelled a riot a year ago, leading to rapid economic recovery. If another major upheaval occurred, the city's economy would suffer greatly. Therefore, the authorities ultimately chose to negotiate and sent out the top negotiation experts, hoping to persuade Qin Fan to release Lu Ziyuan. However, these negotiation experts couldn't even reach halfway up the mountain before being blown back down. What's the origin of this person? Is he a monster? Yeah, I've lived for so many years and never seen such a formidable individual. Just his voice renders our Flying Leopard team helpless. Perhaps he has mastered the legendary lion's roar technique. The repeated failures had left the Flying Leopard team utterly despondent. This news also reached the Lu family, causing a wave of despair within. Now they truly understood what it meant to be unrivaled in the world.
This is unrivaled in the world.
No wonder he dared to demand everything from the Lu family.
If they refused, the Lu family might indeed suffer the fate of annihilation, as Lu Ziyuan had conveyed. However, after 3 days of stalemate, Lu Fashuan, accompanied by someone, stepped into the villa on the mountainside, presenting Qin Fan with a declaration of war. Chapter 190, The 300 Billion Gambling Match. In the villa area halfway up the mountain, it was currently surrounded and sealed off by the police force of the Huandao city.
Members of the Flying Leopard team stood in formation, ready at any moment to launch a raid on Lu Ziyuan's villa.
A truly extraordinary individual.
Captain Hu Shennan of the Flying Leopard team, cigarette dangling from his lips, gazed at Lu Ziyuan's villa, his emotions complex.
He had been with the Flying Leopard team for nearly 2 decades, having encountered all sorts of formidable individuals, but someone as formidable as the one who kidnapped Lu Ziyuan?
He had never encountered such a person before.
Chief, what's the origin of this person? He's truly exceptional.
To put it in contemporary terms, he's sensational. Not even a Barrett heavy sniper rifle could harm him.
Is he the Incredible Hulk? Harm?
He deflected sniper rounds, and the sniper who shot at him got hit instead. They're still trying to save him.
He's truly superhuman. Is someone listed on the Mystical Gates celestial ranking this powerful? I recall we once dealt with a Grandmaster listed on the Mystical Gates celestial ranking, but they weren't this formidable.
These team members spoke successively, truly feeling hopeless against Qin Fan.
Individuals listed on the Mystical Gates celestial ranking, they had dealt with before. But someone like Qin Fan was truly beyond their capabilities. Only the term invincible could describe him. What's his purpose?
He's not negotiating nor making any demands, just maintaining this stalemate. Hu Shennan gazed at the villa, his expression filled with complexity. So powerful and yet so peculiar. Psychologically speaking, he's exerting pressure on the Lu family.
He intends to crush them. He needs conditions that satisfy him. Today is the final day.
If it's not resolved, the people of the Lu family might go insane.
A man with gold-rimmed glasses spoke.
He was Yuan, a doctor of psychology, an expert in criminal psychology. In 3 days, he had already grasped Qin Fan's intentions. What humans fear most isn't the unknown but the visible, slowly encroaching fear. Knowing that fear is encroaching but being powerless to stop it will break down all defenses, leading to collapse, even madness.
It's a form of torment, extreme torment.
And now, Qin Fan hadn't directly visited the Lu family, yet the Lu family was on the verge of collapse. If things weren't resolved today, the people of the Lu family would likely go completely mad. Just at this moment, a refined gentleman accompanied by 2 individuals approached.
Chief.
The members of the Flying Leopard team immediately saluted upon seeing this refined gentleman.
This refined gentleman was none other than Guan Zhongning, the head of the Huandao city's officialdom.
Remove the blockade, Guan Zhongning said to the leader of the Flying Leopard team.
Chief, it's very dangerous up there, and the other party might not want to see you. Hu Shennan immediately interjected.
Things need to be resolved. He will definitely see me, Guan Zhongning said confidently.
Hu Shennan looked at the 2 people behind Guan Zhongning.
One of them was somewhat acquainted with Qin Fan, Gu Santong. The other, in his 50s, dressed in Taoist robes, exuded an aura of transcendence. Hu Shennan then ordered the lifting of the blockade, while Guan Zhongning led the 2 individuals towards the villa. This time, as Guan Zhongning said, there were no surprises along the way. The 3 of them safely arrived at the villa. The villa's gates opened, and the 3 entered. They saw Qin Fan calmly looking at them, while beside him stood Lu Ziyuan, weary and even despairing.
Master Gu. Lu Ziyuan weakly called out to Gu Santong.
In these 3 days, she had seen through Qin Fan's methods, which had utterly dashed her hopes. If she had known about Qin Fan's extraordinary abilities, she wouldn't have dared to deceive him. Even if she had to sell everything, she would have scraped together 300 billion. But now, it was all too late.
Gu Santong looked at Lu Ziyuan, sighed deeply, then turned to Qin Fan and said, Master Qin, this is the head of the Huandao city's officialdom.
He hopes, out of respect for him, that this matter can be resolved amicably.
Guan Zhongning nodded and said, Master Qin, matters need resolution. That's why I'm here. Speak, Qin Fan said. Guan Zhongning turned to the Taoist beside him and said, Master He, it's your turn. This Master He stepped forward and said, I am He Zhongji, a disciple of the Emotion Tao. Today, I've come to issue a challenge on behalf of my master. A challenge? Qin Fan chuckled. That's right. Mo Yuntsong is my master's direct grandson and his heir. So, my master chooses to duel with you to settle this score. He Zhongji paused for a moment, then said with a solemn expression, this duel will wager everything belonging to the Lu family. If you win, everything of the Lu family will be yours. If you lose, you leave empty-handed. Are you joking? Everything belonging to the Lu family was originally mine. How can it become a wager? Furthermore, Emotion Tao isn't qualified to challenge me. Qin Fan bluntly refused. You. He Zhongji stared at Qin Fan, speechless with anger. How dare he say his master wasn't qualified to challenge him? Truly audacious. Master Qin, what are your terms? Guan Zhongning, being the head of Huan Dao, naturally remained composed, and he knew this matter couldn't be settled in a few words. If you want to challenge me, fine. I'll wager everything belonging to the Lu family. If I lose, I'll leave. If I win, Emotion Tao must produce something of equivalent value to that of the Lu family, Qin Fan said. Guan Zhongning took a deep breath upon hearing this. Everything belonging to the Lu family amounted to at least 150 billion. This wager was worth a staggering 300 billion. If Qin Fan won, he would not only be the number one figure in Huan Dao but also its wealthiest. It was a leap towards the heavens. Master Qin, truly ambitious. He Zhongji said sarcastically. Dare to leave if you can't handle it. Qin Fan's voice was cold. As his voice resounded, a force pressed down, instantly sending the three men flying. Who is this guy? So audacious. Why hasn't the Xia nation's military intervened? Guan Zhongning got up from the ground, his face ablaze with anger. The current power in Huan Dao couldn't resolve this matter. That's why, in his capacity as the head, he reached out to the Xia nation's military, hoping they would intervene. However, the reply from the military was to suppress the news and satisfy all the other parties' demands. That's why he had to come, only to be embarrassingly thrown out by the other party. Master he has set his terms. You should consult your master, Guan Zhongning said to He Zhongji. He Zhongji nodded. He couldn't decide on this matter. He had to consult his master. However, knowing his master well, he was confident his master would agree. As the number one figure in Huan Dao, his direct grandson was killed, and now adding the Lu family, if they didn't agree, it would only disgrace Emotion Tao and make it impossible to stay in Huan Dao. Sure enough, a message spread later that afternoon: the long-time secluded Emotion Tao will duel Master Qin tomorrow, at Chinyu Island. This duel involves 300 billion. In this duel, there's no victory or defeat, only life or death. This news shook the entire Huan Dao city. Chapter 191, Possessing Divine Artifacts. Anyone living in Huan Dao City, from the elderly to the children, knew of the top figure in the city, Emotion Tao. Emotion Tao became the top figure in Huan Dao City after his most famous battle 30 years ago, atop the Emerald Mountain. It was there that he single-handedly defeated Su Nak, the martial arts grandmaster from the Kingdom of Elephants. This battle earned him the title of Huan Dao City's top figure, and from then on, everyone knew of Emotion Tao's true prowess and mastery of the Tao. Afterward, he secluded himself on the southern Changyu Island of Huan Dao City. Only the top aristocrats and dignitaries of Huan Dao City had the privilege of visiting him on Changyu Island. Now, this top figure of Huan Dao City was actually initiating a battle with someone, arousing immense curiosity among the people of Huan Dao City. They were eager to know who his opponent was. However, when they learned it was Master Qin, they were puzzled. Who exactly was this Master Qin? Even the elite of the city didn't know his true identity. They only knew that he had recently done something significant. He had killed Emotion Tao's grandson and abducted Miss Lu Ziyuan of the Lu family. In an instant, the people of Huan Dao City, especially those from prominent families, were filled with disdain and contempt for Master Qin's audacious actions. Master Qin abducted Miss Lu Ziyuan of the Lu family today, and tomorrow he might abduct the daughters of their prestigious families. Therefore, these noble families were all hoping for Emotion Tao, the true Tao master, to rid Huan Dao City of this bandit and bring peace. Of course, these noble families were merely spectators, merely condemning Master Qin's excessive behavior.
However, the gathering in Huangdao City for the Southeast Asia Taoist Conference was quite astonished.
Who exactly is this Master Qin? What merit and ability does he possess to challenge Emotion Dao?
I'm not sure, but it seems he hails from the mainland of the Great Xia, and he's known as Master Qin from Jiangnan. The Jiangnan region of the Xia nation is a place lacking in Taoist cultivation. This Master Qin is probably a martial arts grandmaster. Not sure, but recently it's said that he killed Hua Tianqing, the head of the overseas Huatian sect.
He actually killed Hua Tianqing? It seems his strength is not weak. Hua Tianqing is Hua Tianqing. How can he compare with Emotion Dao, who is a true Taoist master? Emotion Dao once obtained divine artifacts from the depths of the sea, meditating on them for 20 years.
At this point, he's probably not far from reaching the realm of a true Taoist master. This Master Qin seems destined to perish.
Many practitioners of Taoism voiced their opinions.
These people, devoted to the Taoist path, always looked down on martial arts, especially those from Southeast Asia, so they were not familiar with the news from the Xia nation, let alone the true identity of Master Qin. Therefore, they unanimously believed that in this battle, Emotion Dao would easily defeat Master Qin on Chanyu Island. More people were eager to witness what kind of power Emotion Dao, who had been in seclusion for 20 years, possessed now.
Was he truly on the verge of entering the legendary realm of a true Taoist master?
So, this night ultimately became a sleepless one. Many people took boats in advance, even chartering ships or yachts, to get closer to Chanyu Island and secure favorable positions to witness Emotion Dao's brilliance. In the Taoist world, it had been too long since a peerless master had taken action against a martial arts grandmaster. If the decisive battle took place tomorrow and this news spread, it was likely that Taoists from all over Southeast Asia, the South Seas, and even the Indian subcontinent would come to see if Emotion Dao had truly entered the realm of a true Taoist master. As for Qin Fan, after receiving news of Emotion Dao's agreement, he appeared indifferent. The reason he was willing to accept Emotion Dao's challenge was truly because he coveted Emotion Dao's wealth. A grandmaster of Taoism like him surely possessed abundant treasures, and more importantly, among those treasures were various rare items for cultivation. If he could obtain all of these cultivation treasures, it would undoubtedly accelerate his progress in arranging formations on Feihong Mountain. Lu Ziyuan sat beside Qin Fan, her expression incredibly complex as she gazed at him. In this battle, if Qin Fan lost, the crisis facing the Lu family would be resolved. But if Qin Fan won, then the Lu family would truly be destroyed. Even if Qin Fan didn't wipe out the entire Lu family, they would still lose everything. The Lu family, accustomed to luxury, would find losing their wealth even more painful than losing their lives.
Can Master Mo win? Lu Ziyuan silently prayed in her heart.
Huangdao City, Chanyu Island, Southern Region.
Chanyu Island is the largest island near Huangdao City, spanning approximately 10 square kilometers.
It boasts two famous sights, the moonrise over the sea and the sunrise above the horizon.
Hence, Chanyu Island is a renowned tourist destination in Huangdao City, attracting numerous visitors every day. However, the moment news of Emotion Dao challenging Master Qin spread, the city authorities dispersed all tourists and deployed the police force.
They established a restricted zone within a radius of 300 meters around Chanyu Island, prohibiting ordinary people from approaching. Nevertheless, those informed practitioners of Taoism and some nobles displayed their resourcefulness, arriving in the area to await the commencement of the great battle. At the heart of Chanyu Island lies a small mountain with an altitude of approximately 300 meters. A meticulously crafted staircase ascends straight to the mountaintop, where a quaint Taoist temple stands.
This temple, named Shandao Temple, serves as Emotion Dao's secluded place for cultivation. Emotion Dao, clad in a verdant Taoist robe, with hair as white as snow and a beardless face, looked out over the dark sea. Despite being over 100 years old, his appearance resembled that of a 50-year-old due to his Taoist practices.
"Master, do you have confidence in this battle?" queried He Zhongji, standing beside him with a hint of worry. Qin Fan, known as Master Qin, had already acquired a considerable amount of intelligence through Gu Santong and various channels within the Xia nation. He had effortlessly dispatched Hua Tianqing and showed no fear even when facing the elders of the Xianling sect. Hence, Master Qin undoubtedly possessed genuine talent and knowledge. It's just that news of his prowess had not reached Huangdao City in Southeast Asia, and they were unaware of his capabilities. He killed Hua Tianqing, so he must have obtained the divine artifact from him, Emotion Dao remarked, gazing into the depths of the dark sea. He Zhongji's expression subtly changed upon hearing this.
A divine artifact.
Having followed his master for over 30 years, he understood how his master had risen from a mere disciple to become the top figure in Huangdao City. It was because his master possessed a divine artifact, yet he had never been able to fully comprehend its mysteries. And that artifact was rumored to be in conflict with the one held by Hua Tianqing. Now, he understood why his master had challenged Master Qin. It was to seize Hua Tianqing's divine artifact.
Have you followed me for 34 years without ever seeing my divine artifact? Emotion Dao suddenly inquired of He Zhongji's expression changed, feeling a surge of excitement.
So, it seemed that in this battle, he might finally get a glimpse of the divine artifact his master possessed.
Chapter 192, Landing on the Island.
As the sunrise emerged over the sea, a new day dawned. Qin Fan opened his eyes, stretched lazily, stood up, and walked outside. Seeing Qin Fan about to leave, Lu Ziyue quickly caught up. Qin Fan strolled out of the villa leisurely. As he descended halfway down the mountain, the personnel stationed at the foot of the mountain saw him and raised their guns, aiming at Qin Fan, ready for any contingency.
Master Qin, we've been instructed by the authorities to prepare a boat for you.
We can depart now, said Hu Shennan, approaching Qin Fan respectfully. Although in his eyes, Qin Fan was nothing but a bandit, someone who violated the laws of Huandao City, the fact that he could make the head of the local government, Guan Zhongning, personally intervene and even challenge Emotion Dao indicated his terrifying strength in this world. Laws existed, but they couldn't restrain the strong. On the contrary, the strong would trample upon the laws. And Qin Fan, in front of him, was such a formidable individual, just like Emotion Dao. Okay, Qin Fan nodded and then boarded the vehicle prepared by Hu Shennan to head to the seaside and embark on the island.
Wait, take me with you. Lu Ziyue, seeing Qin Fan getting on the car, immediately caught up and said, Miss Lu, aren't you leaving?
This is your chance to escape from him, Hu Shennan interjected hastily.
Leave? Where can I go?
Even if Emotion Dao loses, he'll still catch me, no matter if I escape to the ends of the earth.
So, I can't escape. Lu Ziyue smiled bitterly. Then what about you? Hu Shennan asked in confusion. Of course, I'm going to Chanyu Island. Lu Ziyue replied earnestly. To Chanyu Island?
Hu Shennan looked surprised.
Even if it's death, I want to face it head on.
So, I want to go and witness the battle, I want to see it clearly.
Lu Ziyue spoke again.
In the end, Hu Shennan could only nod and let Lu Ziyue board the car as well. Soon, the car arrived at the seaside dock.
Many police officers from Huandao City were on alert there.
Today, all those who wanted to go to the island were banned. Master Qin, when Qin Fan got off the car, Gu Santong greeted him.
Master Gu, where are my dad and the others? Lu Ziyue, who had followed, asked immediately upon seeing Gu Santong. Mr.
Lu and the others are already on the island, Gu Santong replied, looking at Lu Ziyue with regret. Spending 300 billion to befriend someone who could climb to the top of the Tian list would have been a tremendous blessing for the Lu family. Unfortunately, everything had been ruined by Lu Ziyue's own cleverness, and not only ruined, but the Lu family would also now face utter destruction. Lu Ziyue naturally understood the meaning in Gu Santong's eyes and said, Master Gu, it's too late to regret now.
Gu Santong nodded and then turned to Qin Fan. Master Qin, let's go.
Immediately, the group boarded the Lu family's cruise ship and set off for Chanyu Island. Qin Fan stood with his hands behind his back at the bow of the ship, breaking through the wind and waves. Many boats surrounded them, with people aboard gazing at Qin Fan standing on the ship. However, they were too far away to see Qin Fan's true appearance. In the distance, on a yacht, Xiang Shui, Liang Hongyu, and others from classic media, who were preparing for an audition, were on board.
Why has the sea suddenly been closed?
It seems like the entire police force of Huandao City has been mobilized, Liang Hongyu said, puzzled, as she rowed the ferry back. Yesterday, they had arranged to come over to the island to shoot a short film. However, when they came over today and boarded the ship, halfway through the journey, the sea was closed off.
What bad luck! Could it be because of that woman from the mainland?
At this moment, a young lady, who appeared to be of a similar age to Xiang Shui and possessed remarkable features, suddenly confronted her. This lady, named Gu Qingya, was a budding star discovered by another talent agent at Classic Media, a local islander, preparing to audition together with Xiang Shui.
What does this have to do with me? Xiang Shui became angry upon hearing this. These days, she had been practicing with Gu Qingya, but Gu Qingya constantly belittled her and picked on her at every opportunity, even belittling her in front of other talent agents and actors from Classic Media. If it weren't for Xiang Shui's patience and Liang Hongyu's persuasion, Xiang Shui would have truly lost her temper. What's all this noise about?
Liang Hongyu said angrily, let's just change the location. Liang Hongyu, you are really more trouble than you're worth. Li Juanzi, Liang Hongyu's colleague and the talent agent who discovered Gu Qingya, expressed his extreme dissatisfaction.
You didn't even know about the sea closure, and as a result, we made a wasted trip. Liang Hongyu didn't bother to argue back. She and Li Juanzi were already archenemies.
If the company hadn't forced them to act together this time, she would never have brought Gu Qingya and Li Juanzi alone.
Qingya, let's go somewhere else on our own, Li Juanzi said to Gu Qingya. I've long wanted to stop practicing with Xiang Shui.
Being with her brings nothing but bad luck, Gu Qingya immediately teased.
Xiang Shui didn't want to argue with Gu Qingya.
She looked into the distance and saw a yacht heading towards Changyu Island.
Why can he go to Changyu Island? Liang Hongyu also noticed.
The figure at the bow, he seems to resemble Brother Qin, Xiang Shui said strangely, looking at the distant figure. Qin Fan?
Liang Hongyu was surprised, it does seem somewhat similar.
Being able to travel to Changyu Island during the sea closure must indicate a very high status in Huan Island City. And calling him Brother Qin, a mainland lad, with such intimacy, is truly shameless, Gu Qingya said sarcastically. With that, she looked towards the departing figure and remarked, he must be a scion of a noble family, it would be great to make his acquaintance. Xiang Shui couldn't be bothered with Gu Qingya, her gaze fixed on the departing figure, increasingly resembling Qin Fan. She thought to herself, I've been busy practicing these days, haven't contacted Brother Qin, I wonder what he's been up to. With that in mind, she took out her phone to call Qin Fan, only to find it was switched off. She put away her phone, thinking, he must still be asleep. Meanwhile, Qin Fan's yacht had already docked, and he disembarked from it. He is Master Qin, so young, what extraordinary abilities does he possess to provoke emotion to challenge him? Many cultivators who had arrived early expressed surprise upon seeing Qin Fan. Achieving greatness in cultivation requires more time than in martial arts. With Qin Fan achieving the status of a grandmaster in cultivation at such a young age, his strength can be imagined, certainly formidable. Accompanied by Gu Santong, Qin Fan made his way up, quickly reaching the mountaintop.
Lu Fachuan.
Qin Fan walked to a platform halfway up the mountain and immediately recognized Lu Fachuan sitting in the distance. Behind Lu Fachuan stood more than a dozen people, either masters of Taoist arts or martial arts, with He Zhongji standing in the center as he was a grandmaster of Taoist arts. Such a lineup was enough to make the entire Xia nation bow down. However, in Qin Fan's eyes, they were no different from ants. Master Qin, it is my incompetence that led to the discord between our sects. I am now offering you 300 billion.
Can this conflict be resolved? Lu Fachuan suddenly said. Chapter 193, The Duel Begins. Lu Fachuan's eyesight was extraordinarily sharp.
The moment he saw Qin Fan, a strong sense of oppression engulfed him, a feeling he had never experienced even when facing Emotion Dao.
Emotion Dao might not be his match. He was afraid. If Emotion Dao lost, his family's fortune would be lost, and he would also die.
Since I set foot on Huan Island, everything belonging to the Lu family is mine, Qin Fan said bluntly. The members of the Lu family dared not speak out in anger, and in the end, could only glare at Lu Ziyuan, who had come with Qin Fan.
Lu Ziyuan, you deserve to die. Is it you who deliberately brought this person here to seize the Lu family's property?
Yes, it's all your fault. You despicable woman, actually conspiring with outsiders to seize the Lu family's assets. The members of the Lu family dared not vent their anger and grievances on Qin Fan, so they directed all their resentment towards Lu Ziyuan. After this incident, regardless of the outcome, Lu Ziyuan would be finished. Listening to the foul language, Lu Ziyuan's face turned pale, and she staggered back uncontrollably. Finally, Gu Santong, who accompanied her, supported her and led her aside. Qin Fan no longer paid attention to Lu Fachuan and his people but instead looked towards the person standing in front of him with his back turned. Suddenly, a smirk appeared on his lips. I didn't expect you to possess what I desire. Emotion Dao turned around, his eyes shining brightly, his expression calm. Indeed, the artifact of Huatian has fallen into your hands. Qin Fan's words confirmed his speculation. The two artifacts resonated when they were close, and he could sense it too. So, your wager this time is the divine artifact you possess? Qin Fan smiled. At this moment, he felt the chaos pearl pulsating. There was something he wanted on Emotion Dao's body, the missing fragment of the great Dao. It's mutual, Emotion Dao chuckled lightly. Suddenly, a wave of blue light surged from him, and the surrounding seawater seemed to sense Emo Shindao's presence, immediately surging and swelling like the sea god descending upon the world. Emo Shindao had no words for Qin Fan. He attacked with his ultimate move. Boom! The blue light shimmered, the unique mana of cultivation surged, and the vapor above the sea condensed, carrying the might of the sea, forming a water dragon tens of meters long, as thick as a giant tree. The water dragon roared, emitting a low dragon chant. Then, Emo Shindao pointed his fingers into the air, and the dragon's roar echoed. With a loud boom, it swept towards Qin Fan. The power of this strike was overwhelming, causing the onlookers to retreat, their faces filled with awe. This is Emo Shindao's ultimate skill, the water dragon chant finger. With this move alone, he suppressed the Grandmaster of Martial Arts of the E-Kingdom. Has Emo Shindao stepped into the legendary realm of gods? Even if not, he has already stepped halfway. This strike was indeed too powerful, as if the heavens and earth were overturned. Many cultivators even thought Emo Shindao had already become a true Taoist or a master of the divine realm. Facing this overwhelming strike, Qin Fan appeared calm. The divine realm was equivalent to the foundation establishment stage, but the disparity was immense, not to mention that the foundation establishment stage had 9 grades. Those above the 3rd grade were considered golden cores. Qin Fan could easily crush even a golden core cultivator. As for Emo Shindao, because he had the fragment of the Great Tao in his possession, Qin Fan's spiritual sense couldn't penetrate him, so his assessment of Emo Shindao's cultivation was not particularly clear. However, this strike didn't trigger the power of heaven and earth, so it definitely hadn't reached the divine realm as described in the cultivation world of earth. Facing the surging water dragon, Qin Fan extended his right hand and grabbed forward. You're seeking death. Emo Shindao saw Qin Fan reach out to grab the water dragon, and a cold and fierce expression appeared on his face. This move, the water dragon chant finger, had once subdued the Grandmaster of Martial Arts of the E-Kingdom with just a finger. Now, after years of secret cultivation, its power was even greater. If it were the Grandmaster of Martial Arts of the E-Kingdom from back then, even if there were 3 more of them, they could still be subdued with just one finger. However, in the next instant, his expression changed. At the moment when the water dragon rushed towards Qin Fan, it seemed to be constrained by a powerful force, as if it had been grabbed by Qin Fan's right hand. Then, it began to wildly twist and turn, its immense power causing the surrounding ground to crack and burst. At this moment, Qin Fan held the water dragon as if it were a large worm, and no matter how the water dragon struggled, it couldn't escape his grasp. Everyone witnessed this scene with shock. Emo Shindao, who was famous for his mastery of Taoist arts, was easily controlled by Qin Fan. However, the astonishment had just begun. Next, everyone saw the water dragon stop struggling, then contort and shrink, transforming into a small water ball held by Qin Fan. You seem to understand better than Huaixinzing how to control divine artifacts, Qin Fan said as he held the water ball. Upon this water ball, he sensed the unique aura of the Chaos Pearl, very weak, indicating that Emo Shindao knew how to unleash the power of the artifact to deliver a powerful blow. As Qin Fan's words fell, he casually flung the water ball towards Emo Shindao. Emo Shindao's scalp tingled immediately. Knowing something was wrong, he clasped his hands together in front of his chest, repeatedly forming hand seals. Then, a dazzling blue light flashed, and a blue formation appeared in front of him. Countless water vapors gathered towards the formation, forming an immensely huge water curtain. The water curtain rotated like a vortex, seeming capable of devouring anything that came at it. Bang! The water ball thrown by Qin Fan crashed onto the water curtain, not being swallowed but exploding directly, shattering the water curtain into pieces, with countless water arrows shooting out chaotically. Wherever the water arrows struck, the ground cracked, as if it had been bombed, demonstrating tremendous power. Emo Shindao managed to block this attack, but his face was pale, his eyes filled with fear as he looked at Qin Fan. Quickly, summon your divine artifact and reveal all your strength. Qin Fan said calmly to Emo Shindao he had indeed found the fragment of the Great Tao within the Chaos Pearl, and he intended to take it. So, he was waiting for Emo Shindao to summon that artifact, saving himself the trouble of searching later. It seems I underestimated you. Emo Shindao looked at Qin Fan solemnly. He had killed Huaixinzing, so he had tried his best to assess Qin Fan's strength, not saying much and acting directly. But just now, not only had Qin Fan seized control of his Taoist arts, he even fought back. This method had exceeded his expectations. He had underestimated Qin Fan's strength. He had to give it his all. In the next moment, he clasped his hands together, and blue light shone once again between his palms. Then, he abruptly pulled his hands apart, and a blue ice crystal floated in front of Emo Shindao's chest.
Old friend, it's up to you. Emo Shindao stared at the blue ice crystal decisively.
As he spoke, the blue light on the ice crystal intensified, shooting out 9 streams of light that disappeared in an instant in 9 directions, 10,000 sea-tide formation. At this moment, Emo Shindao formed hand seals with both hands, chanting softly.
Chapter 194, Setting Off Properly. The tide of 10,000 seas rises.
After murmuring these 5 words, Emo Shindao, 9 blue beams of light rose into the sky from Longyu Island, bathing everything in a shimmering blue radiance.
Boom!
Accompanying the ascent of the 9 beams of light, the surrounding sea surged violently, rolling up one huge wave after another. At this moment, Longyu Island began to tremble frantically, causing even the people on the island, including those formidable martial and Dao masters, to stagger helplessly.
What's happening? An earthquake?
The spectators watching the scene turned pale at the sight of the sweeping waves and the frenzied shaking of Longyu Island, thinking that doomsday had arrived. This is a formation master has been secluded here for over 30 years, during which he has used Longyu Island as the focal point to lay down an extraordinary formation, the tide of 10,000 seas formation. Emo Shindao's disciple, He Zhongji, said with a solemn expression.
The crowd's complexion changed drastically. A formation? Emo Shindao has not only been here for cultivation but also laid down a formation using Longyu Island as its focal point.
The people of Huandao City are superstitious, especially about feng shui formations. But feng shui formations are nothing more than a house, at most covering a few hundred square meters. Now, with Longyu Island as the focal point, this encompasses a vast area of tens of square kilometers, a colossal formation. I've been cultivating here in seclusion for over 30 years, all to comprehend this crystal artifact. In these years, I found that I couldn't use it to aid my cultivation and reach the realm of the divine, but I could harness its power to stir the forces of heaven and earth. Therefore, I utilized all my lifelong learning to create this tide of 10,000 seas formation. This formation, once activated, will consume 20 years of my lifespan. However, faced with such an opponent as you, I have no choice but to activate it. And if you die under this formation, it can be considered a fitting end. Emo Shindao manipulated the ice blue crystal in his hands, his eyes indifferent as he addressed Qin Fan. At that moment, wrinkles began to appear on his face, and the once radiant eyes visibly aged at a rate visible to the naked eye. As he spoke, the sea grew more turbulent, and colossal waves began to churn around the 9 beams of light, transforming into 9 gigantic water dragons. The 9 water dragons surged towards Longyu Island, roaring, causing towering waves wherever they passed. The entire island seemed to be plunged into an apocalyptic catastrophe. This is my territory, and I call the shots here. No matter how strong Qin Fan is, it's futile. This is within Emo Shindao's grand formation, his territory. Anyone who enters will undoubtedly perish. So, it turns out that anyone who challenges Emo Shindao on Longyu Island has failed. This is the reason, because this is his territory. Indeed, the first person of Huandao City is not just a reputation. I am impressed. Many cultivators and martial masters finally understood that over the years, anyone who challenged Emo Shindao on Longyu Island had failed. Because this is his territory, there's no chance of winning against him in his domain. This is Emo Shindao's true trump card. The crowd deeply admired Emo Shindao's ingenuity, truly worthy of being called the first person of Huandao City. The 9 enormous water dragons roared as they swooped over Longyu Island, swirling and rotating in the air, carrying the overwhelming power of heaven and earth, aiming straight at Qin Fan. Indeed. Qin Fan looked up at the 9 dragons carrying the awe-inspiring power of heaven and earth, showing approval. You've come up with this method, I must commend you. In a world lacking in traditional Tao, to research such a formation and to understand how to harness the power of heaven and earth through the fragments of the great Tao within the Chaos Pearl, Emo Shindao indeed possesses great talent on the path of cultivation. If Emo Shindao were a true immortal cultivator, able to fully channel the power of the Chaos Pearl's fragments, the might of this formation would likely be hundreds of times stronger. Once activated, it could instantly destroy Huandao City and even kill a nascent Soul Realm cultivator. However, it's regrettable that Emo Shindao is not an immortal cultivator, hence this formation has many flaws. Each activation costs him his lifespan, and even the grand formation needs constant repair. As for the power of this grand formation, it's impossible for it to cause any harm to Qin Fan. Even though he's not yet at the nascent Soul Realm, merely at the foundation establishment stage, with his foundation formed through the 3 tribulations of the heavenly Tao, this grand formation cannot inflict any damage upon him. Master Qin, take a good look at this splendid world, for this will be your last sight.
Emo Shindao formed hand seals and pointed fiercely at Qin Fan.
The 9 water dragons roared in unison, swirling and intertwining in the air like an immense drill, descending towards Qin Fan. Before the dragons reached him, the overwhelming power of heaven and earth pressed down, causing Longyu Island to tremble, rocks to crumble, and vegetation to shatter. Boom! A deafening roar resounded, and Longyu Island shook violently. Countless rocks at the island's edge collapsed due to the tremors. The tremendous shaking lasted for nearly 10 minutes before finally ceasing. After everything settled, Emo Shindao staggered back several steps, spitting out blood before steadying himself. At this moment, he appeared aged, his eyes devoid of vitality, his body weakened by blood loss. However, there was no sadness in his heart, only joy. Defeating Qin Fan meant obtaining Hua Tianqing's artifact, and with 10 more years of cultivation, everything would return to normal.
Did I win?
Yes, look at that deep pit. Anyone inside would surely perish.
We won.
Ah, our Lu family is safe. At this moment, many people cheered. In the spot where Qin Fan stood, a massive crater appeared, filled with churning seawater like a vast lake. However, Qin Fan's figure had already disappeared.
We won.
Lu Fachuan sighed in relief. He initially thought Emo Shindao wouldn't be a match for Master Qin, but he hadn't expected Emo Shindao to possess such a shocking trump card. He's dead, we've won. Lu Zian also jumped with joy, cheering wildly. Splash! Suddenly, the seawater in the deep pit surged, emitting terrifying waves, then began to rotate continuously. A huge vortex appeared shortly afterward. The water vortex spun faster and faster, then reversed direction, shooting into the sky. In just a moment, all the seawater gathered by the Grand Formation disappeared into nothingness. Now that it's over, I'll take what I came for. At the moment when the seawater vanished, a plain voice sounded. Afterward, Qin Fan walked out under the astonished gazes of the crowd. Emo Shindao looked at Qin Fan walking out, unable to believe it, his voice trembling. How? Is this possible? Nothing's impossible. Qin Fan looked at Emo Shindao indifferently. The next moment, he vanished from his original position, appearing instantly in front of Emo Shindao. Set off properly. Qin Fan raised his hand and gently touched Emo Shindao's head. In the next instant, Emo Shindao's body shattered and disappeared, and the blue ice crystal was absorbed by the Chaos Pearl. Chapter 195, The Fall of the Lu Family. The onlookers gazed at Qin Fan, who emerged unscathed, even after casually killing Emo Shindao, their eyes filled with astonishment. Under such terrifying attacks, how could he emerge unharmed? Is he even human? How could this happen? You actually killed my master. He Zhongji, seeing his master Emo Shindao killed by Qin Fan, was consumed by rage and forgot Qin Fan's identity and strength as he rushed forward to seek revenge. Qin Fan glanced at him, and in an instant, a surge of divine power erupted, thundering through the air like lightning, sending He Zhongji flying and crashing harshly onto the ground. He Zhongji sat on the ground, staring blankly at Qin Fan. Although he was only at the early stage of Grandmaster Dao, he couldn't withstand even a single glance from Qin Fan. The strength of this person before them was truly unfathomable, undoubtedly a true Taoist. I'll spare your life, but within 3 days, you must hand over everything belonging to your master to me, Qin Fan said coldly, looking at He Zhongji. He Zhongji sat paralyzed on the ground, trembling, before finally nodding. This was a gamble, winner takes all. If they didn't comply, they would only meet their demise. As for the others, they remained silent, not daring to speak out. To kill Emo Shindao unscathed, and even within Emo Shindao's Grand Formation, this level of power could only be described as invincible. Anyone who dared to step forward would surely be crushed by Qin Fan Lu Fachuan. At this moment, Qin Fan's gaze fell upon Lu Fachuan. Lu Fachuan trembled, then sighed deeply. Enough, I should have died long ago, but I clung to life stubbornly, causing the Lu family to face disaster. I have brought this upon myself. The other members of the Lu family trembled, emitting low sobs. They couldn't believe that Qin Fan had won, and so effortlessly at that. Master Qin, no, true immortal Qin, everything started because of me. I beg you, spare the others in my family, Lu Fachuan pleaded with Qin Fan. The Lu family owns 50% of Lu Corporation's shares. I'm willing to give up 40% in exchange for the lives of other members of the Lu family. I only ask that you spare the bloodline of my family. Father. Grandfather. The people of the Lu family were heard shouting there, while others were quietly weeping. They all knew that the Lu family was finished. I have stated that I want everything from the Lu family, but I, as a person, do not delight in bringing calamity upon one's own kin. Your life continues because of Lu Ziyun's deceit with the elixir. I have karmic ties only with you and Lu Ziyun. Naturally, I will not harm others, Qin Fan said calmly. Not bringing harm to one's own kin was Qin Fan's bottom line. However, if the other party crossed this line, Qin Fan would show no mercy and wipe out the entire clan.
After finishing his words, Qin Fan raised his hand, and the gaze of Lu Fashuang immediately dimmed, then all vitality disappeared, and he perished.
The people of Huandao City couldn't help but shake their heads as they looked at the deceased Lu Fashuang. Life and death are predetermined. Forcibly prolonging life goes against the natural order, bringing calamity upon one's own clan. This made many wealthy individuals present sigh in regret.
Lu Ziyun.
After Qin Fan killed Lu Fashuang, he turned to Lu Ziyun.
Boom!
Upon hearing Qin Fan's voice, Lu Ziyun couldn't support herself any longer. Her legs gave way, and she knelt to the ground. It's all my fault, it's all my fault. Master Qin, however you wish to punish me, I willingly accept, even if it means taking my life.
I will not complain.
Taking your life directly would be too lenient, Qin Fan sneered. As his words fell, Qin Fan waved his hand, and a surge of power instantly enveloped Lu Ziyun.
Then, everyone witnessed in astonishment as Lu Ziyun aged at a visible rate. In just a few seconds, Lu Ziyun transformed from a beautiful young woman into an elderly person. Witnessing all this, everyone felt a sense of dread. This was a heavenly technique. Moreover, Qin Fan's method was to kill the person's spirit along with their body. Lu Ziyun, who prided herself on her beauty, now transformed into an elderly person. This was even more painful than being killed. No wonder taking her life directly would be too lenient. Lu Ziyun would only suffer torment from now on, experiencing the desolation of old age. As for the other members of the Lu family, accustomed to a life of luxury, losing all their wealth was more painful than death itself. It could even be said that they were better off dead. Master Qin, without a massacre, on behalf of Huandao City, thank you, Quan Zhongning said to Qin Fan. With Qin Fan's strength, wiping out the Lu family would be easy. After all, the Lu family was one of the top-tier magnates in Huandao City. Their sudden annihilation would undoubtedly cause panic in Huandao City. Now that only Lu Fashuang had died, it was something they could accept. Later, under the testimony of the Huandao City government, the Lu family transferred all the shares and assets of the Lu group to Qin Fan. Qin Fan also gave the Lu family 3 days. If they didn't complete the transfer within these 3 days, he would show no mercy. Many wealthy individuals in Huandao City sighed. With the fall of the Lu family, there would be the rise of the Qin family, led by Master Qin. At the same time, many people who came here wanted to make friends with Qin Fan. After all, from now on, Qin Fan would be the first person in Huandao City and the foremost magnate. However, Qin Fan spoke, I will stay here to cultivate for 2 days. You may leave. Remember, during this time, no one is allowed to disturb me. This environment was perfect for absorbing the energy released by the Chaos Pearl, so Qin Fan decided to stay. Others could only leave upon hearing this. And those who left knew that the impact of this battle on Huandao City had just begun. Emotion, the first person of Huandao City, only served the elite wealthy of Huandao City, so his death didn't have much effect on the ordinary citizens. However, for the upper echelons of Huandao City, it was undoubtedly a major earthquake. Many magnates in Huandao City were terrified. Master Qin was indeed too powerful. He had caused the downfall of the Lu family so effortlessly, instilling fear in their hearts. They understood that they absolutely must not offend Master Qin and must establish good relations with him. As for those cultivators, they also wanted to befriend Qin Fan. With Qin Fan's extraordinary abilities, receiving guidance from him would undoubtedly propel them forward by leaps and bounds. However, Qin Fan focused solely on cultivating on Long Island and did not see anyone. So, they had no choice but to give up. Qin Fan spent 2 days cultivating and completed the refinement of the water element, achieving the azure water clear sky physique. During his 2 days of cultivation, news of the change in leadership at the Lu group spread throughout Huandao City. The helmsman of the Lu group, Lu Fashuang, passed away suddenly due to a heart attack. The future helmswoman of the Lu group, Lu Ziyun, fell ill suddenly and aged into an old woman, leaving the Lu group. The Lu family owed a certain young master a trillion, and could only choose to offset it with Lu group shares from now on. This young master will enter the Lu group and become its leader.
It is rumored that this new leader of the Lu group has also taken over everything from the Mo family of the Mo God's Path, becoming the wealthiest person in Huandao City with assets close to 3 trillion. This wealthiest person in Huandao City is rumored to have an extraordinary appearance and is unmarried. In short, various rumors circulated throughout Huandao City, arousing curiosity among the populace. Even those young girls of marriageable age fantasized about gaining the favor of this new wealthy man, hoping to ascend to great heights overnight. Qin Fan naturally paid no attention to these rumors. After completing his cultivation, he received a call from Xiang Shui. Since tomorrow was the audition, there would be a ball in the evening, and Xiang Shui wanted Qin Fan to accompany her. Qin Fan gladly agreed and went to meet Xiang Shui. Chapter 196, The choice is yours. In Huandao City, at the Ritz-Carlton Hotel. A golden customized Rolls-Royce Phantom slowly pulled up at the hotel entrance. The receptionist hurried over to open the door, and a young man dressed in white casual attire stepped out.
Which noble family does this young master belong to? He looks quite handsome. He must be from some distinguished family, right?
Some women nearby couldn't help but admire as they saw the young man disembark.
Mr. Qin, shall we escort you inside?
A respectful companion accompanied the young man. This person exuded a calm aura and was none other than Lu Pingzhou, the peak martial arts grandmaster who served as the guardian of the Lu family. After the Lu family's downfall and their expulsion from the Lu group, Qin Fan treated the elderly members of the Lu family with great kindness. Naturally, these people were willing to work under Qin Fan, the true cultivator. However, there was still a problem before Qin Fan. He wouldn't stay in Huandao City, so after leaving, he needed to find someone to take over the helm of the Lu group for him. Moreover, not only did the Lu group need a new leader, but the assets of the Mo God's Path lineage also required someone to manage them. The first person Qin Fan thought of was Jiang Qingning. Jiang Qingning had graduated from the top Walton Business School overseas and possessed exceptional management abilities, making her the most suitable candidate. However, Jiang Qingning was still managing the Tianqin Company in Xia Nation's mainland, so she couldn't come over. Therefore, Qin Fan decided to let Jiang Qingning recommend a trustworthy person to come over. But this matter wasn't urgent because they hadn't obtained the assets of the Mo God's Path lineage yet.
No need, I'll go in by myself.
You go keep an eye on He Zhangji.
Tomorrow is the deadline.
If he doesn't deliver, I'll personally pay him a visit, Qin Fan said to the two. Lu Pingzhou nodded immediately and respectfully stepped back.
Tomorrow was the deadline Qin Fan gave to He Zhangji. If the assets of the Mo God's Path lineage weren't delivered, he would do whatever was necessary.
Soon, Qin Fan walked into the hotel lobby, and there, he immediately spotted Xiang Shui.
Big brother Qin.
When Xiang Shui saw Qin Fan, she ran over, her face full of complaints.
Big brother Qin, you lied. You said we could contact you at any time, but we couldn't reach you for so many days. I thought you were lost. Sister Lin was about to come to Huandao City to find you.
Qin Fan hurriedly took out his phone and contacted Lin Xingyan, explaining a bunch of excuses.
He managed to persuade Lin Xingyan to cancel her plan to come to Huandao City. Big brother Qin, it's all your fault.
Sister Lin and I were so worried about you, Xiang Shui said as she watched Qin Fan hang up the phone. Qin Fan looked at Xiang Shui and could only shake his head, smiling bitterly. It's my fault, I admit it.
So, let's spend more time together. After everything is over, I can continue to stay in Huandao for a few more days and take you out to play.
If those who witnessed Qin Fan's battle with the Mo God's Path lineage saw this scene, they would probably be shocked.
The first person of Huandao City, when would he show such a youthful expression? Little did they know, this was Qin Fan's state of mind. After the condensation, Qin Fan's understanding of transforming from mortal to divine became deeper. Transforming into mortal wasn't about truly becoming immortal, but experiencing the mortal world, forming bonds in the mortal world, refining the heart within the mortal world, and comprehending the divine will of transformation. Big brother Qin, you're so nice.
Xiang Shui smiled as she heard Qin Fan's proposal, then said, let's go ahead.
Sister Liang is waiting for us.
Then, Qin Fan and Xiang Shui walked together towards the inside. Along the way, Qin Fan withdrew his soul fragment and chatted about Xiang Shui's recent days. He learned that Xiang Shui had performed well and was waiting for tomorrow's audition.
If successful, she might even get a supporting role.
For a girl who had just debuted through advertisements, being able to secure a supporting role in a big-budget movie would be a high starting point. Soon, the two entered the hotel and saw a serious-looking Liang Hongyu.
Apart from Liang Hongyu, there were others preparing to participate in tomorrow's audition along with Xiang Shui.
So, not only Xiang Shui was participating, but others would naturally participate as well.
Is this your big brother Qin? So rustic. Can he even enter the party? Gu Qingya, upon seeing Qin Fan accompanying Xiang Shui, immediately sneered, "Who is this guy? So rustic. How dare he enter such a high-end party in casual attire?"
The others also whispered and gestured towards Qin Fan's attire, wondering how he could have the audacity to enter such a classy event. "It's none of your business."
Xiang Shui glared at Gu Qingya, defending Qin Fan. "Liang Hongyu, are you serious?
This party tonight is organized by Huang's group's young master, Huang Jingyang. All the big stars from both sides of the strait are attending, along with many big shots from the entertainment industry.
Are you really letting this kid participate?" Gu Qingya's agent, Li Juanzi, expressed his dissatisfaction towards Liang Hongyu. Tonight's dance was organized by Huang's family, and the movie Xiang Shui was auditioning for was invested by Wanqing Entertainment under Huang's group.
That's why Liang Hongyu brought Xiang Shui along. It would be beneficial for Xiang Shui to meet big stars or entertainment tycoons during the party, regardless of tomorrow's audition or her future development. Liang Hongyu never intended to bring Qin Fan along. However, Xiang Shui insisted that if Qin Fan didn't come, she wouldn't participate either.
Liang Hongyu had to reluctantly agree and requested an extra invitation. Soon, the group entered the venue of the party.
The venue was spacious, filled with people everywhere.
"Qingya, do you see that staircase?" Li Juanzi immediately said to Gu Qingya after they entered. "Brother Li, what about it?" Gu Qingya asked. "Tonight's party has an inner and outer area.
Only those big stars and entertainment tycoons have the qualification to attend the inner area.
We don't have the qualification to enter the inner area. Even our company's CEO doesn't have the qualification," Li Juanzi explained. "Brother Li, I understand.
I won't let you down," Gu Qingya said confidently, a slight smile curling up her lips. She just needed to strike up a conversation with a guy who could take her to the inner area. With her appearance and social skills, it would be effortless to find someone to escort her to the inner area. "Liangjia, why didn't you tell me about this?" Xiang Shui's expression turned unpleasant upon hearing Li Juanzi's words. She wasn't stupid, she naturally understood the implication behind Li Juanzi's words. "Xiang Shui, the entertainment industry is a big melting pot. Whether you can keep yourself clean depends on yourself." "I didn't mean anything by it." "I didn't tell you because I wanted you to choose for yourself," Liang Hongyu explained to Xiang Shui. She hadn't mentioned it to Xiang Shui, leaving the choice up to her. With Xiang Shui's looks, there would definitely be many people hitting on her tonight, wanting her to be their dance partner. The choice was in Xiang Shui's hands, and Liang Hongyu wouldn't interfere. "I don't want to participate anymore," Xiang Shui said decisively. "Don't pretend to be noble," Gu Qingya sneered disdainfully. "Later, many big stars will come out. Your idols will be here. You can definitely take this opportunity to get to know them." "Are there no women attending the party?" Liang Hongyu smiled and said. "If you don't look for men, won't you go looking for those female celebrities? As for whether you can build relationships, it depends on yourself." Upon hearing Xie Shutong's return, Xiang Shui's face changed slightly, showing some anticipation, and then she looked at Qin Fan. "Then let's stay for a while. The food in a 5-star hotel must be good. Let's eat our fill before leaving," Qin Fan said. Qin Fan and Xiang Shui entered the ballroom, casually picked up some food from the buffet table, intending to have a meal and then leave. "May I have the pleasure of inviting you for a dance, beautiful lady?" A refined voice sounded beside Xiang Shui as she and Qin Fan were getting food. Xiang Shui paused, looking up at the person speaking, and asked, "Are you talking to me?" The speaker was a handsome Eurasian man, elegantly dressed, clearly from a well-off background. "Only a lady as beautiful as you can captivate me. I'm Gui Yuhang, the young master of the Guo family in Huandao. Would you be my dance partner tonight?" Gui Yuhang smiled warmly at Xiang Shui. The women attending this party were all here to climb the social ladder. The Guo family wasn't the top aristocrat in Huandao City, but they were still wealthy, with assets worth billions. With his charming appearance, Gui Yuhang could easily strike up conversations and be successful. Xiang Shui politely smiled at Gui Yuhang and then leaned towards Qin Fan, taking his hand. Gui Yuhang glanced at Qin Fan, noticing that he wasn't even dressed in formal attire for the party,
but rather in casual clothes, and couldn't help but laugh. Seems like your companion can't dance.
I didn't plan on dancing tonight.
Xiang Shui refused once again. Gui Yuhang was momentarily stunned. This woman was quite interesting. So he smiled and said, "Miss, may I take you upstairs to join the reception?" Going upstairs to join the reception meant they could meet the real big shots in the entertainment industry.
At tonight's party, the women attending were either models or minor celebrities, all aiming to network with the bigwigs in the entertainment industry.
This benefit was something the other party wouldn't refuse.
Not interested, Xiang Shui said, then turned to Qin Fan. Brother Qin, this person is really annoying, let's go.
Indeed, annoying. Can't even tell when someone's not interested and keeps blabbering on, Qin Fan responded. With that, the two walked away, ignoring Gui Yuhang. Gui Yuhang watched Xiang Shui, rubbing his chin and saying, "This woman is quite interesting, that's what makes it fun."
Encountering someone like Xiang Shui in his circle for the first time, he felt the desire to conquer Eros for Qin Fan. Besides Xiang Shui, he was completely ignored.
Xiang Shui and Qin Fan took their food and sat down at a nearby table for four.
However, not long after they sat down, Gui Yuhang came over again, this time with another woman, who turned out to be none other than Gu Qingya.
"Xiang Shui, hope you don't mind," Gu Qingya said to Xiang Shui with a beaming smile.
Just now, she saw Gui Yuhang trying to strike up a conversation with Xiang Shui, and since Gui Yuhang was her target tonight in Huandao City, she immediately approached him.
However, it seemed that Gui Yuhang was more interested in Xiang Shui. "Mind," Xiang Shui immediately responded. "Miss Xiang is really interesting," Gui Yuhang said with a smile.
Xiang Shui rolled her eyes, not wanting to engage with this person.
"Do you know about the recent big event in Huandao City?"
Gui Yuhang completely disregarded Xiang Shui's attitude and started chatting away, showing off his flirting skills. "We've been busy practicing lately, so we're not aware of what's been happening in Huandao City."
"Could you fill us in?" Gu Qingya interjected.
"Sure," Gui Yuhang replied nonchalantly. "The Lu family has changed hands, and there's no longer a Lu family in Huandao."
Gu Qingya was stunned to hear this news.
Having grown up in Huandao City, she was very familiar with the Lu family, a top-tier aristocratic family in the city.
How could they suddenly disappear? The Lu family? You mean Miss Lu Xian's family?
Xiang Shui, intrigued, asked.
Gui Yuhang noticed Xiang Shui's curiosity and smiled. Curiosity was a good start. Yes, Gui Yuhang confirmed. The Lu family is no more. Do you want to know what happened? Lu family gone? What happened? Xiang Shui continued to inquire.
The Lu family owed billions in debt and had to use all their assets to compensate. The entire Lu family has been wiped out, and now a young tycoon has taken over the Lu group, Gui Yuhang explained with a smile.
What about Miss Lu? I've read about her in magazines.
She's a fashion icon with excellent business acumen, having founded several fashion brands. I thought I might see her tonight, Xiang Shui said. Miss Lu has contracted a strange aging disease and disappeared, Gui Yuhang replied. Having received a magazine from Liang Hongyu, Xiang Shui had taken a keen interest in Lu Xian's story.
Lu Xian's success despite her aristocratic background had inspired her. So hearing about Lu Xian's unfortunate fate left Xiang Shui feeling confused. How about the young tycoon who took over the Lu group? He must be the top tycoon in Huandao City now, Gu Qingya asked, showing the most interest in the young tycoon. Gui Yuhang smiled when Gu Qingya mentioned the young tycoon, as if he had been waiting for someone to ask that question. This young tycoon is now the top figure in Huandao City, with assets exceeding billions. He then adopted a mysterious tone and said, this young tycoon is actually a friend of mine. If there's a chance, I can introduce you to him. Really? Gu Qingya's eyes lit up with joy. The top tycoon in Huandao City, and he was still young. This was a dream come true for Gu Qingya. Even the top-tier celebrities would be excited to meet such a person. If she could establish a connection with this young tycoon, it would be wonderful. Of course. As long as we're friends, I'll naturally introduce my friends to you, Gui Yuhang said confidently, shamelessly boasting. Qin Fan couldn't help but chuckle at Gui Yuhang's words. Since when did they become friends? This guy was all talk. It's Huang Xiao and also Fang Miaozhu. The leading actress in this investment movie is tailored for Fang Miaozhu, and Huang Xiao is a big supporter of Fang Miaozhu. I envy them. I remember Fang Miaozhu just signed with Wanqing and got a huge endorsement. What's there to envy? Do you have her conditions? She's an absolute stunner. Suddenly, exclamations were heard from around.
Upon hearing this, Xiang Shui was immediately drawn over and saw a stunningly beautiful woman walking into the party with a young master. This woman was wearing a high-slit evening gown that perfectly showcased her beautiful figure, especially her long, fair thighs, which mesmerized countless men with every step she took. Paired with her seductive and beautiful appearance, she instantly became the center of attention as soon as she appeared. Fang Miaozhu, the top-tier female star in Xia country, known for her seductive and charming image, was currently at the peak of her popularity. The leading role in this major production movie was specifically tailored for her. If this movie turned out well and she could step out of Xia country, she would become a top-tier superstar.
It's Fang Miaozhu, really Fang Miaozhu.
Xiang Shui's eyes sparkled with excitement as she looked at the woman, turning into a little fangirl.
Xiang Shui, what's gotten into you? Qin Fan asked, amused by Xiang Shui's excitement.
Xiang Shui, feeling a bit embarrassed by Qin Fan's question, explained, I used to have health issues, so I spent a lot of time reading books and watching TV dramas.
One of my favorite actresses is Miss Fang Miaozhu, and another one is Miss Xie Shadong.
So, when I saw Fang Miaozhu tonight, I got a bit excited. Qin Fan chuckled at Xiang Shui's explanation. At 21 years old, it was perfectly normal for her to be a fangirl. If you want to meet Fang Miaozhu, I can take you to her, Gui Yuhang interjected with a smile upon hearing Xiang Shui's words. No need, Xiang Shui immediately refused. Her expression cold. Being a fan didn't mean she would sacrifice anything for it. Just like when she was on the cruise ship with Lin Qinyan, she wouldn't let others take advantage of her.
Wei Yuhang's face soured at Xiang Shui's rejection. This girl really didn't know what's good for her. Xie Shadong is here too. It's Xie Shadong.
I heard she had some trouble and got terminated by a domestic entertainment company in Xia country.
That's right. Then she signed with Wanqing with the help of Fang Miaozhu. These two have always been best friends. However, Xie Shadong used to overshadow Fang Miaozhu.
Now, Fang Miaozhu has risen to the top, and Xie Shadong is playing the supporting role in this movie.
At that moment, the voices from the crowd once again drew everyone's attention to a stunning woman entering the party.
She was wearing a white off-the-shoulder dress that perfectly accentuated her voluptuous figure. With her strong presence, she immediately became the center of attention upon entering. It's really Xie Shadong. Xiang Shui covered her mouth in disbelief, her eyes shining with excitement.
She's my favorite. I want to go get an autograph.
I can take you over, Miss Xiang, Gui Yuhang said, seizing the opportunity. However, Xiang Shui quickly regained her composure and shook her head.
No need.
I'll go over and take a photo myself. Seizing the opportunity, Xiang Shui stood up and pulled Qin Fan along, using this as a chance to get away from the two.
The two of them walked away, leaving Gui Yuhang completely infuriated. In the past, other women would have eagerly approached him by now. Seeing Gui Yuhang's frustration, Gu Qingya interjected, this Xiang Shui is from the mainland and acts quite high and mighty. Gui Yuhang glanced at Gu Qingya.
While Gu Qingya wasn't bad-looking, she exuded a strong worldly aura that he had seen and experienced too much of.
He wasn't interested.
However, looking at Gu Qingya gave him an idea. He smiled and said, You mentioned earlier that you have an audition tomorrow. I can not only introduce you to Fang Miaozhu and Xie Shadong but also to Huang Xiao.
Really? Gu Qingya exclaimed with joy. If she could meet Huang Xiao, her audition tomorrow would be practically guaranteed.
Let's go, Gui Yuhang said, getting up and leading Gu Qingya after Xiang Shui and Qin Fan. Meanwhile, in the venue, the arriving celebrities would pause for a while to take photos with fans. Huang Jingyang, the young master of the Huang family, and Fang Miaozhu lingered for a while before heading upstairs. Xie Shadong became the center of attention, surrounded by a crowd of people taking photos.
Xiang Shui was pushed to the outside and couldn't squeeze in. She watched as Xie Shadong climbed the stairs under the adoration of the crowd. Following behind, Xiang Shui tried to take as many photos as possible and finally arrived at the staircase leading upstairs.
Sorry, you need a special invitation to go upstairs, a staff member intercepted Xiang Shui and her group when they reached the stairs. Xiang Shui stopped, feeling frustrated. If I had known that Xie Shadong was coming, I wouldn't have come so far.
I would have waited at the entrance. If only I could get an autographed photo. Qin Fan couldn't help but chuckle at Xiang Shui's antics.
This girl had such a cute side to her. Miss Xiang, I can take you upstairs to meet Xie Shadong and introduce you to her, Gui Yuhang offered, seizing the opportunity.
Don't you see how much I dislike you? So, get out of my way.
Xiang Shui glared at Gui Yuhang and then turned to Qin Fan.
Big brother Qin, let's go.
Let's go back then, Qin Fan agreed.
The two of them turned and walked away.
Meanwhile, Xie Shadong, who had just gone upstairs, reached a corner and heard voices coming from below. She instinctively glanced down and saw something that made her eyes light up. Then, she hurriedly turned and headed downstairs. I'm telling you, Xiang Shui, if you leave now, you'll regret it later. Not only that, but you'll also miss out tomorrow.
Gui Yuhang was visibly angered by Xiang Shui's disregard and resorted to threats.
Xiang Shui ignored him and continued walking with Qin Fan.
Gua, don't worry about them. Let's go upstairs.
I can keep you company tonight, Gu Qingye said, relieved to see Xiang Shui leaving.
With her biggest competitor gone, Gu Qingye's chances tomorrow seemed even better. Li Juanzi, watching from afar, grinned triumphantly.
Xiang Shui really didn't know what was good for her. Even if she didn't want anything to do with Gui Yuhang, she shouldn't have offended him like that.
Liang Hongyu could only sigh.
Xiang Shui was indeed talented in the entertainment industry, but she was also stubborn.
What a lack of insight.
She's following some insignificant male companion, Gui Yuhang sneered.
She'll regret it.
With that, he took Gu Qingye upstairs. Being a friend of Huang Jingyang from the Huang family, he felt no pressure going up. However, as he and Gu Qingye turned around, they were stunned. Because at that moment, Xie Shadong was rushing down the stairs in high heels, looking extremely urgent, as if she had missed something important.
Wait, is that Mr. Qin?
Xie Shadong noticed a figure quickly descending the stairs and called out urgently to Qin Fan and Xiang Shui, who were already quite far away. Qin Fan, with his keen hearing, heard her and stopped, turning to look.
It's really you, Mr. Qin.
I thought I was mistaken when I saw you upstairs. Xie Shadong ran up to Qin Fan, her face filled with joy. Qin Fan, with his charming demeanor, looked at her with interest, as if he were meeting a long-lost lover.
Xiang Shui, standing next to Qin Fan, was dumbfounded.
Gui Yuhang, Gu Qingye, Liang Hongyu, and Li Juanzi, as well as others, were all stunned. The seemingly ordinary Qin Fan, who had come with Xiang Shui, actually knew Xie Shadong.
Chapter 199, Eccentricities.
Indeed, it is Mr. Qin.
Xie Shutong's eyes brimmed with astonishment. I never imagined encountering Mr. Qin here in Huan Island City.
When Xie Shadong encountered Qin Fan at the Yulong Mountain Villa in Linhai City, she paid him no mind at the time.
However, subsequent events profoundly shook her.
Qin Fan slew the young master of the Yuan family of Huahai, implicating her as well, leading to her contract termination by the company. She presumed Qin Fan was surely doomed, yet not only did he emerge unscathed, but even the Yuan family members prostrated before him, pledging to serve him. The status of this Mr.
Qin is beyond prestigious.
Later, due to her contract termination, she decided to seek opportunities in Huan Island City, this city renowned for its entertainment. She never thought she would encounter Qin Fan again. However, the world works in mysterious ways. As she ascended the stairs just now, drawn by the commotion from below, she cast a glance downward. It was this glance that led her to behold the esteemed Mr.
Qin. Brother Qin, do you know Miss Xie?
Beside him, Xiang Shui exclaimed in utter disbelief.
We've crossed paths. Qin Fan replied to Xiang Shui.
Qin Fan and Xie Shadong had a chance encounter, hence he never regarded her as an acquaintance. Even upon seeing her here, he had no intention of exchanging greetings. Upon hearing Qin Fan's indifferent tone, Xie Shadong felt somewhat disheartened. She turned to Xiang Shui and asked, Mr.
Qin, who is this? My friend. Qin Fan stated. Miss Xie, I'm your devoted fan.
Xiang Shui exclaimed with boundless joy. Although Qin Fan claimed it was a chance encounter, Xiang Shui felt that the relationship between Xie Shadong and brother Qin was definitely not merely coincidental. At least, she could discern that Xie Shutong's attitude toward Qin Fan was not something a chance encounter could explain.
I see.
Xie Shadong smiled gracefully, then turned to Xiang Shui. Would you be interested in joining me upstairs for a chat? Xie Shadong was astute. If she invited Qin Fan, he would likely decline. However, if she invited her fan, who would certainly not refuse, then Qin Fan might come over.
Upon hearing this, Xiang Shui's eyes sparkled with excitement.
Her idol was inviting her. However, she still glanced at Qin Fan, seeking his opinion.
Qin Fan naturally understood Xie Shutong's intention.
As Xie Shutong had anticipated, if she invited him, he would undoubtedly refuse. But now, Xie Shutong was inviting Xiang Shui, so he could only say to Xiang Shui, "I'm here tonight to accompany you.
The decision is yours." "Miss Xie, is it truly all right?"
Xiang Shui immediately exclaimed with joy upon hearing this.
"Come, let's go upstairs."
Xie Shutong then smiled and took Xiang Shui's hand, leading her inside.
Qin Fan followed behind the two women into the party venue. Why does he know Xie Shutong?
Gu Qingya was dumbfounded just a moment ago. She was relieved that Xiang Shui had left, not only leaving but also offending Gui Yuhang. Thus, this competitor would have no chance tomorrow.
But now, why did she not pay attention to this person at all, yet actually know Xie Shutong?
Xie Shutong was said to be the second female lead in this film.
With her endorsement, what chance did others stand? Liang Hongyu, from a distance, was equally dumbfounded. She thought tonight would simply end with Xiang Shui.
But now, that inconspicuous Qin Fan actually knows Xie Shutong.
What kind of development is this? Could he be a big shot in the entertainment industry? Liang Hongyu was speechless.
Nevertheless, she was also delighted.
With this relationship with Xie Shutong, Xiang Shui's future development was worry-free. This person is doomed.
However, at this moment, Gui Yuhang suddenly sneered and spoke up.
Upon hearing this voice, Gu Qingya immediately turned to Gui Yuhang and asked, "Young Master Gua, what's going on? Do you want to enter the entertainment industry without understanding its rules?"
Gui Yuhang gazed at Gu Qingya and remarked. Gu Qingya looked at Gui Yuhang, puzzled. "Come, I'll take you to see Huang Xiao." "You'll understand then," Gui Yuhang said mysteriously. Subsequently, Gui Yuhang led Gu Qingya to meet Huang Jingyang. Meanwhile, Qin Fan, Xiang Shui, and Xie Shutong were already at the upstairs party venue. The atmosphere at this party venue was more luxurious, yet less crowded.
However, those present here held much higher status than those below. "Miss Xie, do you really know Brother Qin?"
Xiang Shui still felt a surreal sense of dreaming into reality. The fact that she could converse face-to-face with her greatest idol felt unreal. "Of course. Your brother Qin is quite remarkable. I truly admire him," Xie Shutong said to Xiang Shui with a playful expression. "If it weren't for your brother Qin's reluctance, I might have offered myself to him."
"Offered yourself?"
Xiang Shui was astonished to hear this.
"Yes, your brother Qin is truly extraordinary. Isn't it customary for a hero to receive a maiden's offering?"
Xie Shutong said with a half-true, half-joking tone. Though Xie Shutong's tone was indeed half-playful, Xiang Shui still detected Xie Shutong's interest in Qin Fan, her desire to pursue him. Meanwhile, Gui Yuhang had already brought Gu Qingya to the upstairs party venue.
Upon arriving, he inquired about Huang Jingyang's whereabouts.
Then, he quickly traversed through this layer of the venue and arrived in front of a room.
"Master Gua, where are we?" Gu Qingya asked, somewhat puzzled.
"Huang Xiao and Feng Miaozhu are in this room," Gui Yuhang said promptly.
Instantly, Gu Qingya understood the meaning of the entertainment industry's rules as mentioned by Gui Yuhang.
Feng Miaozhu, a major celebrity, was nothing more than a plaything for Huang Jingyang. It was precisely because of this relationship that Feng Miaozhu was being groomed.
In reality, Huang Xiao prefers Xie Shutong.
It's just that Xie Shutong doesn't show enough deference, so Huang Xiao chose to promote Feng Miaozhu instead, Gui Yuhang explained.
As Gui Yuhang had a close relationship with Huang Jingyang and often engaged in debauchery in the entertainment industry, he naturally understood Huang Jingyang's preferences. Wanqing was fully managed by Huang Jingyang, so any actress he promoted was undoubtedly his plaything in bed. Moreover, he also knew about Huang Jingyang's peculiar hobby.
Huang Jingyang liked to bring the actresses he promoted to a party, making them the center of attention, and then bring them to this room to play with, even to humiliate them, satisfying his desire for conquest and eccentricities. "If you want to ingratiate yourself with Huang Xiao, be prepared to be humiliated," Gui Yuhang warned Gu Qingya. Gu Qingya shivered, but for the sake of her future, she didn't care. About 20 minutes later, the door opened. Huang Jingyang adjusted his clothes, looking satisfied, as he walked out of the room. Behind him, Feng Miaozhu's face was slightly flushed as she followed Huang Jingyang. Taking advantage of the moment when the door opened, Gu Qingya glanced inside and was shocked to see various instruments. With just one look, she knew that the activities inside were quite intense.
"Gui Yuhang, why are you here? Were you waiting for me?"
After Huang Jingyang came out, he saw Gui Yuhang and asked in confusion. Huang Xiao, I just saw Xie Shadong chatting happily with a man, Gui Yuhang said.
Huang Jingyan's previously satisfied expression darkened in an instant.